Jeff, we just got everybody. Hey guys. All good? Saw something on the Instagram. All right. Any questions?
Jeff, you go through the whole offseason trying to assemble the team. How much excitement is there to see it all come on the floor together as you guys get ready to embark into training camp?
Well, we're not alone. I think every team this time of year is excited about the progressions of their team. Teams are in different places, but obviously we're hoping to build on what we've started to put on the floor. And a lot of our guys have been really attached this summer and have had good summers, we believe. And so, yeah, it's a super exciting time. First day of training camp tomorrow is super exciting.
Jeff, how do you set expectations? Do you set expectations for a season like this? Coming off your first trip to the playoffs in some time, how do you view what success is for this year?
It's a great question because we've gone from 22 to 34 to 47. Not once have we set an expectations or a goal for a win total. So our goals are more kind of bigger picture, how we put our players in the best positions to continue to develop the right way, play with one another. And I think obviously making the playoffs last year is going to add something, but how does that manifest itself? It remains to be seen. We'll see what messages were internalized through the playoff series, and some of that stuff is going to show up at different times with different guys. So for me, the goal is just to get better, just like we have done the last couple of years.
What do you hope that the team learned last year about competing at that level and making so you hope the team learned when you compare it?
It's one playoff series. So with that, I think the cliched answer is you learn the value of a possession and stuff like that. I think that a lot of the stuff that we need to do to get better as a team is stuff that is more associated with veteran players. We need to turn the ball over less. We need to foul less. We need to recognize windows in games. And I think that the beauty of the playoffs is it just compresses all of that and it crystallizes it. And then the way that we lost, it's something that I know our guys have thought about every single day this summer. So it's gonna make them hungry. It's gonna give them a greater awareness. Now, how does that show up day one? How does that show up throughout the season? We'll see. It's only the first time that we've been in the playoffs with this group, so it remains to be seen how it shows up. But it's going to show up. It's in them now. So we'll see.
What's the learning process been like in going from 34 to 47 with these guys, though? How much is gathered from that in regards to what it takes to do that and take it?
Yeah, all credit to them, and I think those questions are. I know you guys are going to speak to all of them today, and I think those are all individual paths that they're on and journeys, and what we try to do is facilitate that and bring it together so that they lift each other up as a team. But I think, obviously, when you go from those, kind of win totals from year to year with the same group, obviously they're figuring something out, And then some of it is physical maturity, some of it is just, slowing down a little bit, and a lot of it, is just kind of less is more sometimes, not having to prove everything on every possession. And it gets to recognizing those windows within games, the last couple minutes of a quarter, you got to approach differently than the first, 10 minutes. There's little windows, every game is different, and the veteran players are attuned to kind of feeling those things. And I think our guys are starting to make progress there.
Jeff, how much do you guys value continuity this offseason? You guys brought back a lot of players from last year's rotation. How much value did you guys put on that in the front office this offseason?
Well, you guys know we value that greatly. But I've said it before, it only matters if you feel like you can be successful with the existing group. There's no sense in keeping group together that you don't feel like you can win with. These guys, we've given them the opportunity, and they've shown that we can win with them. So why wouldn't we keep them together? They have an amazing relationship with each other. You can't predict chemistry. You can just bring good people in and hope that they develop it themselves. And these guys that takes work on their part, and they've really put a lot of time into that. They believe in one another. They enjoy one another, and I think they're getting to the point now where they can even criticize one another. That's one of the next steps, and. So that continuity matters greatly, especially if you're kind of building the way that we are.
Jeff, you just mentioned continuity. You talked about development of players, and Franz had actually said this off-season that he felt like he fell into the perfect situation here in Orlando. What do you think has been the biggest piece of success to why the coaching staff and why this organization has had so much success developing players these last couple of years?
That's a great question, and you know, like I'd say, how much time do you got? You know, I can kind of go on and on. I mean, I can tell you that it starts with the work ethic and the care factor of our players and our coaches. It starts there. Organizationally, we've dedicated a lot of time and energy and resources, even kind of infrastructure, kind of like the way that we've kind of set up communication streams and a lot of our org charts to facilitate player development. And so we want each one of our guys to feel he's here for a reason. His progress is being marked and measured, and he's being updated with how he's doing in different areas. And so it's something that we spend a lot of time on, and I think that it's one of the reasons that these guys enjoy being part of the Magic organization, because you know they know that like we try to create a slot for them and develop their game, and the most important part is develop their game within how it affects our winning.
KCP, Kentavious Championship Hope. How much is his championship pedigree?
Did you copyright that?
I haven't, but I might.
You did now.
How much is his championship pedigree? How much is it going to help the team?
I hope it helps a lot. I mean, obviously, you know, we haven't played a game yet, so you know, it remains to be seen how all of your plans play out. But I know one thing, man. He's about all the right stuff. He's a winning player. He's a winning person, and he's already demonstrated through just his interactions and his work this summer what he's about, you know. And he's not a kind of guy to come in and be heavy-handed and say, hey, let me show you this. No. He's about the work. He's about every single time they go up and down, he's blowing up pick and rolls. He's trying to fight over screens. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. It doesn't matter what the setting is. It's what his DNA is. It's what he's about. And you know, this is a guy that was, you know, significant free agent signing this summer. You guys haven't heard him once talk about, well, now I'm going to show this or that. He's like, this is what I do. You know, so that goes a long way. And you know, I'm expecting it's going to have a big impact on our team. And you know, obviously, that's because of the person that KCP is.
Jeff, I know you're not one to characterize negotiations with your players, but how hopeful do you think you can? How hopeful are you that you can get an extension done with Jalen Suggs?
Okay, it took about 5 minutes, huh? So, Jason, I'll say this, you know, Jalen is a big part of what we're doing. Everybody knows that, you know, for the person that he is, for the player that he is, you know, I'm always hopeful that we can get something done. You know, we have great relations with his representatives, and I know that Jalen wants to be a part of the Magic. You know, he's an integral part of the chemistry and the team on and off the court, and we've had communications with his reps, but, you know, beyond that, I won't speak on like those conversations.
Jeff, you talk about the chemistry. A bunch of Magic players with Coach Mosley at the UCF game on Saturday. Is that the sort of thing you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think like, you know, that's an example of it. Like, you know, these guys like each other, man. They hang out, you know, and they look for you know, places aside from the basketball court to connect and share. And you know, when you learn about each other off the court like that, obviously, I think like it helps when you're as young as we are. And a lot of these guys, you know, have that time on their hands to be able to do stuff like that. But yeah, they're a very tight-knit group, and I think, you know, Coach Mosley's done a really great job of nurturing that. Like, an organization, we try to do that, and I think that like the next step is to have that trust that they've developed. Now you can rely on that trust when you start to get into uncomfortable conversations with each other, you know, because that's what you want to leverage out of the trust and the chemistry. So I think like, you know, they're getting to that place is something that they talk about. But I love the fact that they just take it upon themselves to do stuff like that. And you know, obviously it didn't work out for UCF yesterday or on Saturday, but you know, I love that our guys support them.
Jeff, you mentioned
Iconic
continuity.
players who have been a part of this franchise, O'Neal and all the guys, McGrady. Paolo's a young man with a lot of talent. Talk a little bit about him, and again, tremendous upside.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you talk about Shaq and T-Mac and those guys, you know, that's high cotton. Those are the elite all-time NBA players, you know, and Paolo's 21. So let's understand, like, what we're saying here. The fact that we're even having that conversation, I think, is a testament not only to Paolo's talent, his physical abilities, but he is an amazing young guy in his ability to understand the big picture. He's different, you know. He works smart, he cares about winning, and he understands that he's going to be measured by the team's success. At age 21, he understands that. That's unique. So obviously, look, that all being said, we need to give him the time to, grow, experiment. Even with his amazing physique, like his body's going to change. He's just starting his journey. He's not even in his prime yet. So, with all that being said, one of the exciting things about our team is, we haven't done anything. We're not doing this draft picks. We're letting these guys grow up. And, Paolo, for all of his abilities and all the notoriety he's already given, he's one of those guys. Growing up, hopefully the right way on a team that's, getting better and better each year. So, obviously, we strategically wanted to leave a couple of those open. We're excited to bring TQ back. Trevelin has really made himself, an important part of our team. He's kind of like DNA of what we want to be about. He's tough, he's smart, he's high energy, and so we're trying to find more guys like that. And we have Kevin Tiller and Trent Pennington. Our Osceola management have done an amazing job of bringing in great players to compete for those two-way spots. Now, there's no guarantee that we'll award those two-way spots, but we have camp to evaluate that. But we're really excited. I think it's going to be a really strong camp, both from our own roster guys and the guys that our Osceola people have brought in as well.
Jeff, you mentioned continuity earlier and how important that is for the team. How much of a role does that play to bring in what you guys do have? Like, you talk about championship hope earlier or like a draft like this. How valuable is it to have continuity to kind of bring new people, new forces into the fold?
Well, obviously, I want to say that we're probably one of the 2 or 3 highest percentage roster continuity teams in the league. So we've brought in fewer new people. But I think it's a marriage of the two, right? Like, if you're bringing them into like a situation where there's kind of a magic way of doing things, and there's a magic way of communicating and being together, and then you're bringing in a really high character person who's seeking out a team like that, and we're trying to be that team. It's a great way to marry the two. And I was reporting in Toronto for a few years, and I know he's one of those guys. KCP, I believe, has already established himself, not only in the league, but even this summer within our team as one of those guys. And we're really excited about Tristan. I think Tristan brings that with him from day one, and I think like those guys are going to help a lot.
Jeff, Paolo earlier in the offseason mentioned that he might like to see more of a table setter, in the offense. Take a little bit of the pressure off him, having the majority of the offensive responsibility there. With the team not going out and making that acquisition, how much of a more responsibility will Jalen Suggs have in the starting lineup this year with the ball?
Yep. I think, these are all like shades of gray. Obviously that's a question, that I'm sure you guys will talk to Coach in a little while. But I'll say this, we're not building this thing quite conventionally. We're playing through, a couple 6'10" guys, who are very skilled, very smart, and we believe that as their skills and awareness in this league grow, that's only going to be able to leverage a kind of unique way to play that we're starting our journey on. And also, even adding, guys like KCP, guys like Tristan, guys like Cory, this is about players who make other players better, right? Who kind of, make quick, easy, safe decisions, who recognize those windows we talked about, and hopefully we're going to keep adding those guys. And I think it's a twofold thing. Jalen's a growing player too. Jalen got a lot better last year. Jalen's going to continue to get better. So some of the answer is yes, that, and then some of it is all these other factors. I don't think there's one thing. I think it's a combination of a lot of things, and that's hopefully how we're going to elevate here. Because we're not playing conventional basketball. We're kind of like building the team a little differently. We're swimming upstream a little bit, which is I think one of our strengths right now.
Hey, one question is, how much you are devoted to keep this core together? Because in the past, you get a good core together and then you end up trading them or they're leaving. How dedicated are you to keep this core together?
I think our actions have, borne out how committed we are to continuity, to letting our young guys develop, to keeping the core. There are external forces in this league, and I've told you guys many, many times, they're coming at us like they're coming at everybody else. This CBA is going to put financial constraints on every single team. and we're no different. So that will be one of our challenges going forward, is trying to keep the train on the same tracks. Every team in the league is looking to get better. We're no different. If the right opportunities present themselves for us to make a leap, we'll take it. But I think in the last 2 years, we've had more continuity than any team in the NBA. We're right up there at the top. And so, I think that our actions prove our intentions. I'm not just talking it, I'm walking it. And but that being said, we want to get better. We got to get better, and all of our players know that. That's why they're here. That's why they compete with one another every day. They want to get better. We all want to keep it together to the best way we can, and we want to win. Our goal is to win a championship.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. I'm with that seat down there. That's so far over. It's over all of our heads.
But like,
Trying to figure it out. Hello! Hey, what's up, man? You all right? What up, Jets? How we doing? Ladies and gents, how we doing? Y'all all right? BD! What's up? Oh, man, how you doing? You guys, what are you going to ask?
Well, Coach, you're coming off the season where you guys won 7 games. As you look at that, what were your biggest takeaways, and how important does securing home court become for this team?
Well, just looking back, for takeaways, one, the experience. Not a lot of teams get to go 7 games. And so now the body of work that you put in throughout the summer can prepare you for that. Knowing exactly what you're facing, how difficult it can be, the conditioning level you have to have, the focus you have to have, the intensity and intention you have to have when you're playing the game. And then on top of that, does it change if you have home court, if you play game 7 at home? And so people continue to talk about it. That random game in January on a Tuesday where you're tired, it might be a back-to-back, you have to realize that could possibly be the difference maker in May. So I think that's very important for us.
I actually got a similar question. How do you set expectations for a season?
It's about the growth and development of these guys getting better. I think that's what we've said. They had the experience in the game 7, so I'll go back to what Dan asked. It's the ability to focus and concentrate on did you improve your individual level this summer and knowing what you're capable of doing, and then the other side of it is as a team, are we holding ourselves to the Magic standard? And we've said from day one, what we do is we're going to play defense. We're going to be a defensive team first. Secondly, are we doing it with a lot of detail, attention to detail? And then the third part is, are you doing it with a level of joy and fun? Because yes, we understand that the wins and losses come, but we have to be able to enjoy the game as a group together that this group has continued to do.
We talked about this team going through the playoff experience the first time we've been winning some successes. How will you draw on your experience being part of kind of perennial playoff teams to kind of teach them or get them to understand what it takes to be consistent year over year, not just game.
Well, the great part about adding KCP as well as Cory Joseph, with the playoff experience, championship experience, you understand what the day-to-day means. The practices, why the importance of focusing on the attention to details, why the extra conditioning matters. All those small pieces matter later in the year, but we don't want to get into the thought of the final product so much that we forget about enjoying the process of what we're doing and how we continue to grow and get better.
What did you say to Franz after Game 7 last year? He took a lot of the blame for that. What do you think he learned?
Franz being one of the most competitive people I've been around, he's one of the highest IQs of basketball I've been around. He's able to grasp moments and again reflect on whatever was good or bad and grow from it. And so the great part about him is he's going to continue to trust the process of what he's able to do and what he means to this team. And so he put the body of work in this summer to continue to grow, to continue to get better, to continue to push our guys as well as themselves to continue to get better. So it's just constant encouragement of who he is and what he means to this team. I think training camp is going to say a lot of that. I think as we move into training camp, being able to see what a young man who's played 4 years in college, play summer league for us. Just continued growth. I think we're in the business of growing and developing these young into the best players that they can be on and off the court. And so every person's level is a little different. You're not going to ask a D4 player to do what a rookie's going to do. So his level is going to depend on how we see and what he does to the team.
Jamal, you spoke a lot about the player development, but you personally, just being here 4 years as head coach, having the experience that you have now, what have you kind of learned about yourself in the first 3 years, and how are you planning to apply that this year?
Just continuing to lean on our staff and lean on these guys to grow and get better, just the same way that like you just said, I have to do the same. But what I've learned in this position is just to continue to empower those around me and help them reach what they're trying to achieve. Because that's a coach's job, is to put guys and staff and players in the best position to be successful. And the more that we can do that, the better we'll be. And so just trusting our guys, keeping it a true partnership in what we're growing and what we're doing.
Just to kind of touch on that when it comes to growth over, with this team, obviously a ton of growth, but over the off season, what have you focused on personally when it comes to growth, personally and as a coach?
Well, first it was spending as much time as I possibly could with my family. Because we know as this 82-game stretch hits, you don't get a lot of that time. So just making sure I was intentional about the time I was able to spend with my wife and my kids, being able to travel and do the things that are most important in life. And then the second piece of that, the growth again comes from me by being able to empower those around me. I will say that till I can't say it anymore, because at some point we all had somebody lift us up. And so I want to be able to make sure we are that for our staff, we are that for our players, to help them reach their level of greatness, because it's a short window for a lot of these guys to be able to play in the league, to do the things that we're trying to do. And I think the more that we can lift these guys up to do that, the better we will be.
Coach, you mentioned player development. Would you say continuity is kind of the biggest weapon here in this offseason?
Well, just being able to add a couple pieces, but these guys being together, their ability to stay together. Like they spent some time together in California as a group that was organized by them. And I think that is so important for this group to do. And it goes a long way. Like you said, you're with this group 82 days and on, more than you are with your family. So our ability to know each other, to communicate the right way, to communicate the right message, to stay together through the ups and downs of the season is going to be very important.
Coach, you consistently are bringing up body of work, and two of your younger guys in AB and Jett consistently have prided themselves on being in the gym day in and day out. What have you seen from them this offseason, and what's the next steps for both of them this upcoming season?
Just continued growth. They've been in the gym all summer, and that's what you love to see. They understand, part of that Game 7, part of playoff basketball changes the mindset of what you're able and capable of doing. And when you just get to the brink of where you can possibly advance, you understand the body of work that you need to do throughout the summer. And I think they felt and experienced that. And so their ability to get in the gym and be with our coaches who've done a tremendous job with them to help them see what they're capable of, it's very big.
Before we hit this one, you and your guys were from UCF.
Which part?
Were you happier for Colorado or more sad for you?
It's funny. I'm happy because I'll root for CU in that game, but I love what UCF does and how they play and what they've done there. So it was so important for our group of guys to be there together. I think the more we can do things off the court together, the better it makes us. It's the subtle things, it's the little things, it's the camaraderie, it's the chemistry of being able to grow that. Knowing yes, we play together in basketball, but it's bigger than that. Being able to connect with each other off the court.
Coach, last season was amazing here at the Center. What do you have to do to keep that consistency at home?
Defend. I think it's got to be about us hanging our hat on the defensive end of the floor, understanding how great our crowd is, how great our fans are, how great our support is. We walked back into Game 3 at home. The energy was amazing. Game 6 was unbelievable. Just knowing that it's a closeout game for them and our ability to drive and be fueled by the energy of our home crowd.
Coach, how much of an increased responsibility might you see from Jalen Suggs in the offense?
There's going to be significant. And what I think it is just his ability to, control the game, control the pace, settle us down. He's done such a tremendous job this summer of working on his game, his spirit, his energy, his body of work, of what he needs to do. And I think, again, I go back to the beauty and the tough part about the Game 7 is that, you know you can advance and want to advance, but the experience, if you're willing to reflect on it, there's a lot of things you can take away, and that's what he's done.
Come on, you've got you're now a young guard, a year older. How much are you looking forward to training camp battles and the fight for minutes?
I could not be more excited. I cannot be more excited. I think there's something to be said about every single day of practice possibly getting harder than the games can be.
Talk about that continuity this year. Guys are still going to maybe have some different roles, skills wise. How do you balance making sure you guys are still doing the things that you know and were able to win games last year, allowing players to expand and kind of grow their roles and find themselves?
Well, we keep talking about the magic standard and being able to go where we're doing playoffs for that. I think the standard has been raised a lot. And so, with that being said, what we're going to ask of these guys is going to be a little higher. The same mistakes, they're not higher. Because we understand that those possessions in those situations can cost you ball. So the standard for the younger guys is now being raised higher, and the expectation level for them is higher. But again, their paths are different than, say, what Paolo's is. So the growth is different for each player in each situation.
Where is the next step?
Well, I've said it before, and I just really truly believe that the reason he gets that extension is because of the person, the work ethic, the professional that he is. So he just has to continue to go over the years. What he has done has been enough, and he's going to continue to grow into more playmaking, more shooting, more driving, more attacking, more making his teammates around him better. He's just going to continue to grow, and that's what you're asking.
Following up on Jalen, this summer you and him spent a little bit of time out in Vegas at USA Camp. Talk a lot about his development, but just what did you see from him in those 2 days, and also what did you learn from that experience?
Well, just being around great players and great coaches, you learn a ton. One, there's a level of confidence that comes in when you're around other great players because you start to see that you belong there and that you can play just the same as some of those guys on the court. So those were the conversations with him. There was many times that he was just having conversations on the sideline with guys about what he saw, what they could see, how they could grow, how they could learn, explaining different offensive scenarios, different defensive scenarios. So he grew there as becoming more of a teacher and letting the game slow down. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
I'm not in there.
You said slinging that pole? Yo, I got it. It did sound like that, though. Oh, I thought you were trying to give me a handshake.
That's 2 in a row. That's 2 in a row.
Nobody else did it.
2 for 1. Cole, after going through a 7-game playoff series where every team won its home game, how important is focusing on getting home court become? And on top of that, how important are training camp and winning games early in the season to achieving that goal?
Hey, Dan, would you believe me? I told you the first person to ask me that question.
No.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I think if we learn one thing from this past year is that I'm gonna say 2 things. One, we can't take any games for granted. I know we had that, even just the stretch of my head that comes to mind last year was the end of the season. I think we dropped 3 straight. And ended up winning our last game, which secured us. We made sure we're not going to be in that playing game. So I think first thing right there, we can't have stretches like that. We gotta. Yes, we play a long season. We play a lot of games, but so does everyone. So do the other 29 teams in the league. We gotta find out ways to win or not have these drops of games like this. Especially in a situation like that last year where if we would have just won at least one of those games, we would have been in a much better situation. We could have prevented us from being what's I'm looking for?
5 seed.
Appreciate you. shoot. That. I think that, and then, but, you know, also, dang, I completely lost my train of thought. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah. What was the second thing? What was the question again?
So, you know, importance of getting home court and focusing on training camp. So you had been asked
yes,
before.
Yes. Well, the training camp, I think this will be very important for us. I think that just, you know, it's been a long summer. I think everyone on the team had a great summer in terms of, you know, getting better, getting stronger, whatever it is, spending time with the family. But I think for this training camp, just getting that chemistry back, and I think we've been taking steps this past month in order for everyone to do that, but just, you know, just making sure all of our stuff is on point so that we can start this season with by hitting the ground running. I appreciate that.
Is there more of a focus and tension about capabilities? Like, do you feel like there's a little bit more seriousness about, you know, what you need to accomplish in the next month as the season is going?
Yeah, and I don't even know if seriousness is the best word, because I think our most important thing will be just the joy we play the game. I think that will trump a lot of the, you know, showing up here and being so serious, being tense. I think that, you know, coming in here with a smile on our face, but also knowing, you know, all right, like, we got to grind. We got some work to do, because we had a lot of unfinished business from this past year, so we got to hit the ground running.
What are you looking forward to most this season?
Hooping. Not just hooping with this group. Because I'm truly blessed and fortunate to be able to be on this team where we have so many high character people from the front office, from all y'all. Y'all seem like pretty good people to me from what I know, to the players. Just, I truly do love this group, and I can't wait to get out there and help us win some games.
You got a good player. Markel's not on the team this year, first year without him. How do you replace that? If you can replace that, and do you feel like you can
just
really fill that void?
Markel is such a heck of a player, not just heck of a player, he's a heck of a person. And whatever team he ends up on, they're going to become a better team. I automatically add him to the team. You know, we're going to miss him. It's going to be hard to recreate Kel Vibe, because he one-on-one for real. And so I'm going to miss him. I know everybody on the team miss him. But in order just to, I don't know if we can recreate it. I think it's just going to have to be some type of replacement that has to be at least some type of way on par with Cal. But man, just his athleticism, to the way he can pass the ball, to how he is in the locker room, ain't no replacing Cal, man. We're going to miss him. So I wish him the best of luck, man. Just when I see him at opposing court, I will be going at him. But miss him, man. So miss him. Man, it's really not sweet, man. Shoot, it's not sweet. I ain't really have a great playoff series. So I mean, it was my first one, and so I ain't gonna do it again. But it was definitely a great experience, and you know, after being in the league for 4 years, going to my fifth, to finally make it there, it's a blessing, and I don't take it for granted. You know, I might not play that great, but I'll be ready for the next one. I promise that.
Well, you talked about the change in approach, you know, for this team heading into this year. But what do you think you guys have to do differently on the floor to sort of take that next step?
I think for us, I think that our defense, I think we're already a great defensive team. I still think we can become an even better defensive team, but I think for us, I think something that is going to help us a lot this year, I think we're going to be a lot better offensively. I think that everyone just on the team got better. I think we're all going to shoot it better. And I just think that after, especially having this year under us, where we had a winning season, we made the playoffs, we went to a 7-game series, I think that just will help us just become even better. Also, here it is too. I rock it. That's a good look. I'll tell you that.
You've been doing incredible work with your playbook even to help younger athletes learn more about money. So how has leading all these initiatives has impacted your own growth, both as a player and as a person?
Man, just for me, I just the way I was raised, I give this all this credit to my mom and father, stepdad, stepmom, everyone who was around me growing up. I just kind of always saw my parents they wanted to always get back. They're always trying to do something to help out the community, and they instill those values into me. And so for me, whenever I go back to New York, that's my hometown. That's where I was raised. I always just want to do something to try to just help the kids out, help the next generation out, because I understand that, look, those are going to be the leaders of this next generation, not just on the basketball court, off the basketball court. Just a lot of those kids who I did that playbook event with, some of them may be Ivy League kids, some of them may end up in the NBA, some of them may end up doing something that has nothing to do with basketball. And that's okay, nothing wrong with that. There's several different paths for young black men out there. But for me, I just wanted to kind of give them some keys, give them some tools. And I said black. It's not just the black. It was other young men there. But I think I just want to kind of give them some keys and resources to help them just step into this process of the real world. Because now you got those kids in high school, they touching NIL money. You got 15, 16-year-old kids there who touching some real money, tens, thousands of dollars. Maybe some of those kids, top kids, might sit there and make 6-7 figures. So I just want to try to help, and we teamed up with Morgan Stanley with that to try to just help give them a resource, whether it was me, whether it's one of them, whether it was someone else in that gym. We just put a bunch of great people in the organization there. Not in the organization, my fault. Just in the gym there to give those kids just some type of helping hand.
That's awesome. You mentioned the improved offense. How the fact that
KCP is going to be not just an offense side, both sides. He's an all NBA level defender who shoot the heck out the ball. I don't know how you slot KCP on any team. He's going to be an instant impact. So I think I can't wait for him to see him play and play with him, and I think he's going to help the team tremendously.
Do you look forward to going up against him in practice over the next few weeks?
Oh yeah. KCP, he can't.
What do you most looking forward to about it?
Oh man, I mean that's one of the things I always look forward to, especially with this team, is that on the defensive side, I get to go against dudes like him, like Jalen, like J.I. And especially like between those three, you got three dudes right there who, especially Jalen and J.I. And I ain't taking nothing away from KCP because he is also an all NBA level defender. But those between Jalen and J.I., those are two dudes who could be defensive players of the year. And so being able to go against them, going up against them in practice every day, they don't get much better than that. I get to go against the best. So it gives me a chance to get better too.
J.I. said he's up to 250 pounds.
He is. I see it.
What have you seen different about the way he approached this summer and just the growth that he made on it? Literally.
The light bro just been eating good. I don't know. Nah, I'm just messing around. Nah, J.I., he definitely got stronger. I said to him probably like a week or two ago, I was like, I seen him in the locker room. Like, J.I., I'm like, bro, you got stronger. He's like, yeah. I'm 250 now. I'm like, all right. Cool. Still can't guard me, but nah. That's gonna help him a lot, because that was probably the one thing you could probably say about J.I. is you're not strong enough to take those bumps. I don't know what you're gonna do now. That dude's the best thing I've ever seen.
Talk about them not being able to guard you. And Bryce had your 50 ways game in New York in summer. I think that's something you were on 40.
Yeah, I did at 40.
What was that like for you guys? I know you guys were talking about it over the summer.
Nah, it was fun. And Bryce, honestly, I'm a little mad. He didn't really even play that much. It was a bunch of dudes there, and he'd be feeling bad, so he kind of didn't really even play that much. I wanted to give him a few more buckets, but it was a lot of buckets in that game. It was a fun time.
You mentioned some of maybe disappointment from the playoffs last year and the season. What did you work on this year, especially knowing that Markel is not going to be around? You're going to probably take on a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm fully open with that. I just I'm ready, man. I put my work in. I will continue to put my work in. I'm ready to hoop. I'm gonna keep it a ball. I can't wait to get out there and just show the fruits of my labor. So coming soon.
What song you absolutely must have on your playlist on game day?
On game day, I'm gonna keep it a bug. I gotta hear some Cash Cobain. I gotta hear some Chow Lee. I gotta hear some R2R Mo, and I gotta hear some Bass Swag. I know none of y'all probably know what that is. Tap in. It's called Sexy Drill. Get right, or get left.
Well, we talked to Gary about you guys, some of the guys that have been here since like the first iteration of the team now. What was it like for you, like those home playoff games, just seeing how the crowd used to be when you first got here?
You saying from when I first got here? Man, well, when I first got here, it was COVID, so we didn't have no fans. So to go from having some fans, to, we had a few fans, we still weren't that good, to us getting a little better and having some more fans to this past year. I think we were like top 5 in attendance. That shows you the growth right there. So it's something we as players, we definitely notice. We notice when we come into the arena and that joint's packed. We talk about it in the locker room. I thought y'all set that up. But like even like that, like we notice when they like in the past when we've been in there, we playing another good team and we see more of their jerseys than our jerseys. So to see that kind of change this year and see everything shift, we appreciate that. And so just big shout out to all the fans.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Miss. Tell her to make the rest of move over a little bit, please.
Well, we talked a little bit about this the other day, but after going through a 7-game playoff series where each team won its home games, how important does training camp, games early in the season become as you embark on a quest to get one for yourself?
Yeah, I think it's really important because you got to set the foundation. I think last year taught us that the habits you build at the beginning of the season, show itself in the playoffs, and so good and bad. So I think us learning that is going to make it so this year, in November, December, January, we're focused on the foresight of trying to get home court and playing in April and May.
What did you work on this summer as an individual, and what success look like?
Yeah, I think this summer I really obviously I was in the gym a ton, working out, but I really was working on my body, trying to get in the best shape I could, working on my body 3-4 days a week, just doing different stuff. I haven't really got to do it, so I felt really good about it. This summer I was in great spirits, and I was just excited to get back here around the guys.
You talked about getting down and playing in April and May with you guys, making sure you guys can focus on early in the regular season. Is there a certain expectation you guys collectively put on as to what you guys should be doing in April and May down the stretch of the season?
Obviously we don't want to be the same as we was last year. We want to improve in all areas. We want to build on what we did last year. I think if we got knocked out in the first round again, nobody would be calling that a success. I think we want to get further than that, secure home court. But we know it's going to be one game at a time, one night at a time. We're not winning any playoff games in November and December, so I think just taking it one step at a time is going to be the key for us.
Paolo, the opposite from the playoffs,
I wouldn't say I learned anything about myself. I think I learned a lot from the series and how it was played and how I played and how the team played. So I watched a ton of film over the summer, and I just was super excited watching the film, knowing how much I could do.
Talked the other day about your summer this year. What kind of value does that carry for you?
It's a huge value for me. Obviously, I'm very close to my family, very close to my friends. So getting to be around them for an extended period of time brought me a certain level of peace and comfort, and I was just ready to get back here and get to work.
Paolo, we've been talking about players and things so short from last season. What do you think was the best that we could take and carry into the coming season?
Yeah, I think the way we play at home, that's something we can bank on. I think we are a hell of a team, at home. I think that's why we're making home court in the playoffs a focus of ours. And then also, our defense, our ability to defend and get stops, even when our offense, isn't clicking sometimes, we're able to get stops after stops. So, we can hang our hats on that. And I think it's our togetherness as a group. I think it's going to continue to build. I think it's on our third year, my third year, our third year of kind of being fully together as a group. So I think we're just going to keep building and improving.
Pablo.
I think that's all important. Team bonding. You don't see it a lot in the pros, but I think that's what makes us a little different. We just love being around each other, spending time with each other, whether it's on the road at dinner or at a football game on a Saturday. We just love being around each other, and we got a lot of guys here that are really selfless and really pour into the group, into the team. So it makes it fun. Man, I came into it cheering for a good game. Obviously some guys had their ties, Moses, Tristan, Colorado, obviously. We were on the UCF sideline, and then moved over to the Colorado sideline with Moses for a little bit, so it was fun just being there. It was a hell of a game too, a lot of big plays.
Last year you played in one regular season, national TV game. That's how fun you guys pay attention to the ball game, not really. So, but what does that mean to have 6 or 7 national team games and be a part of that? What's the impact of national?
Yeah, I mean, that means a lot, you know, because I know for me, it means my family can watch me without paying for league pass. Just turn on the TV and watch, so that's nice a couple times a year. But just as a group, you know, like you said, those games make a difference, you know, whether you want to admit it or not. You know, those games, you know, get you out to the whole world. You know, those games are getting streamed across the world, and you know, people turn on their TV and see the magic. I think it's going to surprise some people. Someone might say they haven't seen us on TV in a while, so I'm excited, and you know, we're going to have some good games as well. That's some pretty good games.
Paolo, first season of the NBA, what goals do you have for yourself?
Yeah, I think just trying to be, you know, a better player and improve in every area coming into this year. I think I improved a lot last year. I think just looking at last year, I can improve a lot again this year. So really excited to just improve in all areas, and yeah, I mean, just get this team farther than we did last year.
Paolo, how do you think the offseason includes the position you want to make the next step?
Yeah, I think, you know, we brought some good veterans in with Cory and KCB. I think two guys who are going to be a huge voice for us in the locker room, huge veteran leadership, and obviously KCP bringing just his shooting and defense and his vocal leadership. You know, he's won championships in recent years, so he's the only one here that knows, you know, what it takes to get there. So I think a lot of us are going to be listening to him. When he talks, everyone's going to be listening. And yeah, I just think they're going to fit right in.
Speaking of KCP, defensively, what are you excited to see with that duo in the backcourt with Jalen and KCP night in and night out?
Oh yeah, I think that's going to be awesome to see. You know, it's going to make me and Franz job a little easier, you know, defending on the wing, because I know you got those two chasing guys around. So I'm excited to watch that tandem, and yeah, it's going to be.
And now, do you sense the whole seriousness? No. As leverage to focus as you guys look at the season?
Yeah, I definitely think we you know, taking another step in terms of focus and you know, seriousness. You know, we just had camp a couple weeks ago out in California, so that was fun. Just getting on the court, playing against each other. Everyone looked like themselves. Everyone looked like they'd improved. So it just, I think, got everyone excited, and you know, we spent time out there as well and talked about, you know, our goals and as a team. And so I think everyone's on the same page.
Paolo, playoffs are rough before last, and you have a marker.
No, I can't give you one this year. I would just say, you know, sit back and watch the show.
Do you have any personal goals that you're hoping to achieve this year?
I would say, you know, obviously, my first year was rookie year, and my second year was All-Star. So obviously, I think we want to be All-Star again, All-NBA, all that stuff. I think really what I want is to you know, get to the Eastern Finals, you know, get deep into the playoffs and make a deep run.
I don't know, there's been some extensions since the team signed for your teammates. How big is it that the team and the organization is willing to pay to help keep the continuity and that vibe you guys have together?
Oh man, it was great seeing, you know, guys get paid, you know, because that's just a testament to the work that they put in. And you know, obviously with J.I., Goga, and then Franz getting the big one, like, you know, it just made me super happy because I know how great the guys, all three of them are, and how selfless they are, and how much they pour into the team. You know, they don't put themselves first; they put the team first. And to see them get rewarded in that way, it just makes you smile for sure.
How you talk about wanting to go to the Eastern Conference Finals and making that jump, what do you think the biggest challenge is going to be for this team to make that jump?
Man, I think it's going to be a hell of a challenge, man. I think, you know, we're not going to be able to surprise anybody this year. I think, you know, within the league and within our peers, everyone is familiar with us and knows that they can't, you know, they can't sleepwalk into playing us. So I think you're going to have something where, you know, teams below us last year are going to be trying to prove that, you know, they're better than us and that they should be up there with us. And I think the teams above us are going to be trying to prove that, you know, we're not ready yet or we're not, you know, on their level yet. So it's going to be really fun for us. We're going to have a lot of fun challenges this season.
Paolo, you made your first trip to China with the Jewish team this summer. Speak to your experience there. What were some of your highlights?
Oh man, that was an amazing experience. Going out there with the brand, just helping grow the game of basketball. You know, I think that was my first time going to China, and so to just see, you know, how many people I touched out there, you know, it just shocked me. You know, I didn't really understand, you know, the fandom out there. You know, it's ridiculous. You know, they're super passionate. They show so much support. They love basketball. You know, and they follow, you know, my every move. A lot of the athletes in the NBA, they follow your every move. And so, when you don't know that, and you go there and you see just how much they pay attention, even though they're 15 hours ahead, have to watch games in the middle of the night. Like it really puts in perspective, what you're doing and how far you're reaching. So that was a hell of an experience.
What was the highlight of your trip?
I need to grab it. Right, last one.
Yeah, what was the highlight of your trip?
I would definitely say going to the Great Wall, walking the Great Wall, spending time in the Great Wall. That was like one of the things that you learn about the Great Wall in school, and you never think you're gonna get there. And so to actually be there on the wall was great.
Thanks, man.
Guys, okay, what's up?
Guys.
Good. You guys went through a 7-game playoff series where the home team won every game in it. How important does getting home court this year become, and how important does it make things like training camp and games early in the season?
Yeah, man. We've been talking about that. We have great fans. You win one of the games. We lost against Charlotte at the end of the last season. We win that game. One more and you get a home court advantage. So we gotta be really professional about the game. Not that we're not, but we gotta take more. Look at it that way. That it's gonna matter. End of the season in the playoffs, it's really gonna matter. So this team and us, we're realizing that, and we're ready to do it.
Do you sense that making the playoffs and that realization is sharpening the focus a little bit?
100%. I mean, we knew we could do it, but we actually did it. We made it there. We had a lot of injuries as well, and we still made it. Even in the series, we had some injuries, guys in and out. Us being healthy is the most important thing. Us being focused. This team has shown that everybody's looking in great shape. We know that this is really serious. We can do this. We did it, and we can do more. Everybody, we left last year. Nobody was really excited that we just made it to the game center. I don't think anybody feels that way. They're satisfied with that. We can do a lot more, and I think we're ready to do that.
But what is it about this group that makes you feel like you can do that?
I mean, we look at the roster, and you look at the guys that are here. They are coming off the bench, that are sometimes not playing, or everybody got so much time. Obviously, whoever's on the court deserves to be there, but whoever's coming off the bench is ready to fit in, ready to step up, ready to make plays for the team. Because we really love each other too. We're really connected. These guys, somebody goes down, somebody got your back. They know we got their back, and I know if I don't play well, my teammates got my back. So just how connected we are and how much talent we have in this team, and the coaching staff have done an amazing job. Mose is one of the best coaches in the league, and he has shown that, and he's ready to have us ready for the season.
Continuity seems to be a huge theme with you guys with both the team and the coaching staff. What is it about that is so important to you guys?
About what?
The continuity.
Like meaning?
Like keeping the same team together.
Okay. I think we show that guys get around. When you can feel it in this facility, in the arena when you go in, when you get in, and we feel well with each other. Some guys are willing to sacrifice some shots for other guys. We are realizing our role. Everybody knows their role. Everybody knows what the shot makers, shot takers, and playmakers are, and guys are willing to play around that. The organization made a great job, keeping us together this year against veterans with us, drafting Tristan. He's a great player. So I think this is looking really good so far, and we just gotta stay healthy.
You were part of that group that came back. You mentioned that connection with this team organization. Why was it return and stay with them?
I still feel like I'm in debt with this team. How much they've done to me, the organization, for me and my family. Not just obviously money is good and helps in life, but where I was in my head, and really when you're not happy somewhere, when you feel like nobody wants you to be there, it changes your whole life. Not just the basketball wise, it changes your mood. The relationship with family, friends, how they see you, how you live every single day. Since I've been here, I keep saying, I got my smile back, and just my family can feel that, and it's really easier for me to be here, really happy, and like I said, so this is a business. You get paid a little bit more somewhere else, but this is like home. How much this team has done for me. I feel like I still gotta give it back, so I'm just super excited to be back.
How was that mental? Seems like you're going to play. You mentioned that you're smiling. How was that up the basketball?
Oh yeah, you can tell. I was waiting. I was gonna be out the league, and not that I was okay with it, but I wasn't mad either because I tried so hard for 3.5 years, and then now I signed a 3-year deal with the Orlando Magic. Sometimes I was questioning, okay, if I'm gonna leave, how is it gonna happen? And I made this happen. This is just like doing myself that.
How much of that perspective makes it easier for you to accept whatever role is for that?
Nothing changes, honestly. I talk with everybody on the team. I'm willing to step in anytime. I've proven that I can start the games, I can come off the bench, and everybody knows that. It's a matter of when we're gonna need my game. Obviously I would love to play every single game, 48 minutes. Like every basketball player loves to play, but whatever team needs me, this is not about just playing. We're not trying to just go through the motion, go through the season. We're trying to build something here, so it's important for me. It's hard sometimes, you want to play, but keep that mental stage where it's like, okay, just you gotta still keep working. Everybody knows what you can do. Obviously, I can do a lot more, and I'm gonna prove that. But I just gotta stay consistent, like I did last year. I've shown that I can do that. And just keep working. Oh, big time, honestly. Coming here from taking off the waivers. Since day one, it's like, yeah, you can do this. Like, we know what kind of player you are. Like, it's just giving you a little extra boost of confidence. Even in the, unfortunately, when Doug goes down, you expect maybe you come off the bench, maybe from there he puts you in the starting line. It shows a lot of trust, how much he trusts you, and that pushes you. Pushes you a lot more actually. Yeah, it's a big time coach. Thanks,
Great, how are you? How lucky is AB to have you as his guy?
That's
what I'm saying. Right?
That's what you just the question.
AB, I said the same thing to Jeff for a lot of guys, like welcome back, but you guys have been here so much this offseason, almost like another day for you. How confident are you in the work you put in, and how pleased are you with how the offseason went?
Super confident. I always trust my work. That's what I was taught from the start of me playing this is kind of just trust the work. So I forgot the second half. Yeah, but definitely trusting the work.
You might be a little early to ask this, but how are you looking forward? How are you looking forward to your role this week?
I'm just ready for camp to come. I'm ready to compete in camp and kind of show them why I feel like I should be doing, what I need to do. I guess we'll go from there. Good team. We lost a couple players. A couple players came back, so there will definitely be just a thing for all of us to kind of figure out our roles going forward.
How do you feel you have changed? You're coming in as a rookie last year. Like when you think back to this day last year, before your first practice, how do you feel you've changed? How do you feel? How does it feel different this time of year?
I feel a lot more prepared, I would say. Last year I kind of just went into it having no idea, and the biggest thing was just having the year in. You kind of just know a lot of things you wouldn't know without going through it. So for sure.
Seems like you, Jett, Tristan all spent a lot of time this summer together. Obviously, you guys are in Vegas here. That's spent a lot of time with Jett. How is that kind of relationship formed? As you see Tristan a little bit now, what kind of first impressions are?
Good player. He's super smart. He's old. He's mature. He kind of knows how to play the game the right way. So summer league was definitely fun playing with him and Jett. Just kind of so we could get a feel for each other. And we got to go out there and just hoop. So it's a lot of fun.
Everybody talks about KCP's defense, JI's defense, Jalen's defense, and rightfully so. how much do you hope to continue to make a name for yourself on that end of the floor? And you've spoken of as one of the elite defenders.
I mean, a lot. I mean, I want to say I'm really pushing for it, but I would say I'm headed on that path. So for sure, I'm just gonna keep playing defense, and yeah, maybe the title will come, maybe it won't. It's kind of whatever.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
Just enjoy what you do. I mean, enjoy what you do. Yeah, it kind of explains itself, but just don't ever let anybody take your joy. Especially from in the basketball side, don't ever let anybody take your joy away from the game.
And what does it mean to you to be a part of the Orlando Magic family?
I mean, it means a lot. We got a good young team in an up-and-coming city, so we got a lot to play for, a lot's buzzing right now. So it's definitely a good thing right now to play for the Orlando Magic. Good day.
Jamal's talked a lot about continuing to have that joy of playing basketball together. But after being in the playoffs last year, you guys have a lot of these big ambitions for this season. Do you sense a different level of maybe seriousness isn't quite right, but a different level of intensity and intention of what you're trying to accomplish this year?
I mean, for sure. You always want to get better every year. So, we went to the first round. We're going to try to come in here and get better every day. So when the time comes, we're ready. For sure.
Anthony, you had an interesting rookie year. Played various different roles for the team. Starting point guard for 20 games straight. A lot of up and downs. What did you kind of take away from your rookie year with that kind of experience and also going to the playoffs in the first year? What year of life? What did you experience in this last season? What did you take away from going into this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think for sure staying ready, locked in, working on my craft even when it looks like I won't be playing or if I am playing. Definitely learned a lot about that. Yeah, I mean, that was probably the biggest thing. I would say stay ready. Just trust yourself, trust your work.
What do you feel like you have to show? What areas you feel like maybe we didn't see last year that you think you'll be able to show in this season?
I would definitely say my creation. Just getting it downhill, being the aggressive physical guard that I always been. Definitely look to get back to being that way.
Sure. Maybe with some of the roster changes, has there been any discussion about you having an extra everyone this year?
No. Not yet. No. Sorry.
What are your personal goals for this season as well as team goals?
Team goals, I want us to be better than we were last year. So I guess for us that looks like us getting to the playoffs, maybe not the first round, and I don't know. Just win a lot of games, protecting home court for sure, and creating habits like that, just so we're ready when the time comes. I would say.
From your perspective, what does this team have in order to let you know it can?
I mean, just young talent, improvement. We're all young, so we're all working on our games a lot in the summer. So I feel like everybody's taking steps forward. So I mean, yeah, that's a recipe for improvement right there. So.
What's the biggest area of growth that you focused on from the end of summer league to now start training?
Biggest area of focus, probably just getting back into the paint, playing off of 2 feet inside the paint. Just making good decisions from there, whether that be me score or me pass. Yeah, definitely that's what we've been working on.
What's one song you must have on your game day playlist?
One song? I'm not good with the playlist. One song though, probably anything off the new Future album. That's valid. It's all valid right there.
Maybe you're drafted in sort of a situation, the sixth pick, but you weren't really paying attention. How do you think that has benefited you?
I think I was forced to earn respect from my teammates and my coaches. So, yeah, I guess me having to earn it probably. I don't want to put words in their mouth, but I don't know. It's just not the easy way. So I don't know. It's good for character. It's good for a lot of things.
Did you change anything about that?
I mean, no. I was on a good team. We went to the playoffs. So yeah, definitely not looking back on it. Looking forward.
Thanks, AB.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, That's for you.
You're good.
Kenny, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good.
How was that conversation?
That was one of a kind. As you approach training camp, you've been part of championship teams. How important can getting home court be for a team, and how is parts of like training camp and games early in the season pivotal to achieving that?
Getting home court is always, like you said, is always an advantage. Especially in the playoffs and postseason. You want to try to have that home court advantage all the way through. Your fans, when you're home, electrifying. On the road 2 games. So the first 2 games will be here if we did have home court advantage. But it's great to have home court advantage, especially in the playoffs and the postseason. But training camp is for us, to get acquainted with each other, build that chemistry. I know most of the guys are back from last season, just a few new faces, including myself. But I think it's going to be great. Training camp is going to give us that time to build that chemistry and get to know each other on and off the court.
What are your expectations for your role for this team?
Just being their vocal leader, their veteran leader for these young guys. Advice when they need it. For me, I'm pretty chill vet. So if I have something to say, I come and talk to them. If they have something to say, they can always come talk to me. And just being able to just do what I do best: shoot the ball and play defense. Just bringing that value to this team that's already a good team.
So you went to China this summer. So what part of the tour did you enjoy the most?
I enjoyed everything about the China tour. The cities, the food, the love and the support I was getting. It was truly amazing, and I can't wait to go back.
What are you looking forward to most this season? And also, I heard that Power was one of your favorite shows. So how do you feel about the season coming to an end?
I haven't watched it in so long. I do need to rewatch it. But what was the first question you have?
What is your expectations for the season? And what are you planning to bring to Orlando Magic basketball?
My expectation is just to come in, get acquainted for me, and try to start the season off with a winning record. I always come in just thinking win the first, out of the first 10 games, try to be above 500, and you take after that you go game by game, and I think that's the first 10 games going to let us know where we at and what we need to work on, and that's what I'm expecting.
What has your relationship been like so far in this short period of time with Jamal Mosley, a guy who's consistently prided himself in player development and establishing the right culture?
It's been great. He's a tremendous coach. When I first got here, he came up to me and talked to me about just what he needs from me, and I'm excited just to be coached by him and playing for him. I'm excited to see what we can do, and how we can make this group better.
I've seen any similar roster like Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Jonathan Isaac. Is this one of the better defensive rosters that you've been a part of, and what are you looking forward to playing with those guys?
Yes, I've said it so many times, man. This is the first team I've been on that everybody likes to defend, and that's exciting for me. Makes me want to compete even more on that end, and I'm just looking forward to just being that team that it's gonna be hard to score on. That goes a lot. I'm saying, in the league, team that gets stopped wins the game.
We've been on different groups and different teams and won through championships. At what point can you tell that the group's going to be special? Is it in training camp? Is it at the point in the regular season?
I knew this group was special, last year, from what they did, the process of their jump to, and things they've been doing in this organization. But yeah, you usually can tell in training camp, before training camp, the chemistry guys have with each other, the bond, everybody just getting together. You can tell that's championship DNA right there. Just hanging around each other as much as possible.
What
Nets were linked in free agency to a lot of big shooting guards in the league, Clay, Albert. They ultimately chose you, and they see you as someone that can bring this team to the next level. How much pride do you take in being that next piece for this team?
I take a lot of pride in that, man. And it's also a blessing, you know. And I think Orlando Magic, you know, for believing in me, you know, and being able to come over here and do this for this organization and these young guys. But it's something there's something I do. You know, I shoot the ball, play defense. You know, I'm a great leader when it comes to the time, and I'm just truly excited, you know, just to be a part of this organization.
Do you see any resemblance whatsoever between Denver and what Mike Malone had established there, and really what this team has in the kind of trajectory?
There's similar, like some of the reason why I chose, you know, to be here. You know, like they already have the chemistry with each other. Like the young guys, you know, they bring everybody back, and it's not like we have to start over as far as building that. It's just for me, just being able to include myself into that, and not try to overlap or take over, you know what I'm saying, guys here already. You know, for me, just being that humble vet, and being able to just adapt.
Paolo said that he's glad to have you on the team. What do you think about his first 2 years on the NBA, and how excited are you to play with him?
I'm truly excited to play with him, and pretty much all the guys. But you know, the first 2 years, he's truly made an impact in this league, and he's an all-star, you know, in this league, and he's going to be an all-star this year. So like, he's seen to get better, like things I've seen over the summer. And for us, when we talk, it's all about just for him, you know, making that right decision, and just taking what they first get to.
In general, how was this summer different for you than the previous summers?
This summer was real chill. It was real chill for me. I didn't have much to worry about. My team, my agent, you know, they usually take care of that side of basketball for me. It was just me spending time with my family, and I don't get it as much. And golfing really. So that's pretty much my summer.
What advice would you give a young adult who also look forward to playing in the NBA one day?
Never give up. You know, never judge, always encourage. I feel like there's some things I live by, and sure it got me to who I am, where I'm at today. It's kept me humble, and just biggest thing is just never give up. You know, it's a dream you have or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Give it 110%.
Did you end up playing golf before the hurricane?
Yes. I played before, and I tried to play during the hurricane, but I got rained out on that one.
You played around some of the greatest playmakers basketball's ever seen. What about the offensive opportunities that you'll get in this team excites you?
Transition. I feel like we can get out and run more in transition. Young team that we can get up and down the floor a little bit faster. Get a lot of more opportunities. Put points on the board, and easy points like that. So I feel like just getting out and just playing basketball. I'm looking forward to the most.
Specifically around playing around larger forwards that are comfortable with the ball, and Jokic, LeBron, having those kinds of guys, that experience that you're referencing, what is that are a guy like Franz or a guy like Paolo who's able to make that?
It makes it easy, just to run the floor. When you got all 5 guys on the floor that can bring the ball up, and when that happens, that's hard to guard in transition. So the more we can continue to get stops, which I know we're going to do, the more we continue to rebound the ball and push in transition, that transition will open up.
Everyone good? All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
After going through playoff run last season, how important does securing home court, especially in the first round playoff series, become for you guys? And how important does that make things like training camp, some of these early season games, as you look ahead?
I mean, it's very important. I mean, when we look back, 2 or 3 games we would have had home court advantage. So I think that's something that, you know, as a group we noticed, and we got to make a change on that front. And early on, you know, we looked at our schedule. It's pretty tough, probably going up until like December, and we understand that we got to get as many of those games as we can before the schedule kind of evens out for us a little bit. So we all looked at those factors. So I think it's very important to pick up as many games as we can, especially early on.
Successful season for Wendell Carter.
Healthy Wendell, not missing any games from injuries. I think that's the biggest thing for me, and then whatever else comes with it.
How is it that injuries happen? Those kind of reactions. Where is your health kind of lies, and how do you feel physically?
Physically, I feel amazing. I was just telling some of another station I was at that my body feels amazing, but what feels even better is my mental. I took a lot of time this summer after I had my second surgery, just making sure I was mentally ready and available for the team. More than physically, after I got injured last year, my mental took a really big toll. Just doubting myself. Just really doubting myself a lot throughout the year. So I took a lot of time on just working on my mental health this summer, and I think I'm at a really good level right now. Really good. I told him he like the mini Franz. Feel like he plays just like him, shoots like him, same layup package. But I also told him just stay behind Franz, man. Just learn everything you can from him. He was a fantastic player, fantastic person. Just copy him. We'll be very, very successful.
How comforting is it going to the training camp knowing you have been together as a team for a few years now? And do you feel like that gives you that confidence to go into the season and start from a higher level than you did last year?
Absolutely, it's amazing. It's very hard. The windows in the NBA is very small, right? They only give certain teams a certain amount of time to prove themselves. But from the front office to the coaches, they believe in us, so that means a lot. And then the guys that we added, they know what it takes to win. I think those are probably the best pieces you could have added in KCP and Cory. Our guys have been on winning teams, have been in winning culture, been in winning locker rooms, so we're just going to bring that culture to us.
Would you say this is your best team coming out?
Yeah, for sure.
Dale, picking up on that point, you just mentioned some of the guys that were brought in and guys that know how to win like KCP. What has his impressions been like within this organization so far, especially with some of the younger guys?
Yeah, he's one of the role models that I think is very, very helpful for our team. He's a vet that is really good on the court, but then off the court, he's just very talkative. He's telling everyone what he sees on and off. On offense and on defense. He just kind of understands the game at a very, very high level. He played with Denver, one of the best teams in the league. He understands what it takes. So I think he's going to just bring that sense of IQ, that sense of swagger to the team that we desperately need for sure.
What did you learn? What did you kind of take with you in the summer from going through the playoff chasing and being in the playoff series?
Say that one more time.
So what did you take from going through the playoff chasing and being in the playoff series and just understanding some of the
First thing is just how exciting it is, right? From a regular season game to a postseason game, it's a completely different atmosphere. That's somewhere I want to be throughout the rest of my career. Just bringing out all the fans, winning on the home court, doing the playoffs is like no other. So that's probably the first thing. And then second thing is just the competitiveness and then the freeness to play. They don't call many fouls in the playoffs. Everybody wants to win playoff games, so it's a lot of fun, and that's kind of what you live for as a basketball player.
You spoke a lot about the processes that you went through to put yourself into this summer. What did you do differently now that you've been in the league for a little bit? What did you do differently?
I took a lot of time to myself. Since I wasn't able to be in the gym and working out and things like that, I took some time and just really just to myself. There's a lot of things I did I probably wouldn't share right now, but a lot of time by myself. Like figuring out who Wendell Carter really is. I do, yeah.
I know that outside of basketball, you've got a big passion for aviation. You started a leadership program all over the schools, which is amazing. So how does it feel like to be able to inspire the students, like the kids outside of basketball?
That's what Wendell Carter really is outside of basketball. Like I'm just trying to encourage the youth, try to get them to another level, especially kids who don't have the same privileges that I grew up with. That's what it really is all about. When it comes to being successful, I feel like you're not really successful until you bring someone else up with you. So that's kind of something my mom and my dad kind of instilled in me, and I'm just kind of trying to do the best I can with that. So,
Wendell, you mentioned the health struggles from last season. What areas of the game are you hoping to improve on heading into this season, or maybe get back to such expectations?
Really, my confidence level. I feel like I'm one of the best bigs in this league, and I feel like my confidence is up there. I feel like a lot of people cannot guard me. So offensively, just being confident, taking shots in there, make a miss, staying confident. And then defensively, being Wendell, being that old Wendell who, stopping some of the best players on other teams, other best bigs. That's really about it. Just get back to that level.
Any personal goals on or off the court?
Goals for me personally, on the court, just playing all 82, not getting injured. I mean, that's something I can't really control, but doing the best that I can. Getting PT work, making sure my body's feeling good, things like that. I think just having this team win. I really don't like to put accolades or anything on it. I just like to just say I'm gonna be better than I was last year. I just try to leave it at that.
Do you feel like you have something to prove after last season? Obviously you kind of doing your own thing. You feel like you have to kind of show this is it.
I feel like that every year. I feel like every year I gotta prove that I'm getting better. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's kind of the nature of being in the NBA. You never want to stay at that same level. That's when people start to doubt you. Is he ready? Is he able to be in this league? Whatever the case may be. But I think it's being better than I was last year. Shooting. Shooting for sure. When I did get back on court, get up a lot of reps, a lot of shots. Then in the mid-range game, just being on the play, make great decisions for me and my teammates. So that's something that I've definitely improved on once I got back on court.
Wendell, which team are you most looking forward to play this season and why?
Every team, honestly. Yeah, I'm excited for everyone.
And what song do you absolutely have to have on your game day playlist?
That's a good one. I'll probably say South of France by Future.
Meditating. Trademark Wendell Carter Jr.
That's how you my man. I'm about to have you.
How long is it?
No, you'll throw up
All back. First time. Speaking of first time, what's this first media day been like for you?
It's been smooth. Just, getting asked a bunch of questions, but I like it.
How'd your summer go? What were some of the things that you were focusing on in the training?
Everything. There's always stuff that you can get better at. A lot of individual training that I've been doing. Get my shot, play making, decision making, stuff like that. I feel like that's a big part.
Wendell said that your game kind of reminds him of Franz, obviously a guy who's probably someone you know very well. Just was he someone that you watch maybe, and what do you think about him?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, since we're both German, there's always been kind of this keeping up with the German basketball landscape from a young age, and then more recently, obviously, he's kind of together with Ben Schroeder, he's kind of the face of German basketball. So always kind of kept up with that, and there's definitely a couple parts of his game that I took and put in my own 2 months.
We've had a couple of months since summer league ended, and kind of the first exposure to how this team operates. what did you kind of take from that experience, and what have you learned as you work between summer league and service training?
Yeah, just the work that we get in, quality work, being intentional with the stuff that we do, just being professionals out here. I feel like that's a big part that I can also bring to the table. It's a certain level of professionalism, even though this is my first year. And look forward to continue doing that, and then just play hard, play for each other, and have some fun.
Do you sense a sort of added layer of seriousness as now that you've been around some of the main roster guys?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, still at the end of the day, it's basketball, so we're still having fun with it. But it's definitely once the big dogs come in, it's kind of like, okay, like I'm starting to jump.
Tristan, you've kind of spent the last few weeks in the gym and after some of the game, you had kind of the chance to catch your breath before I think it's going here.
Yeah, I did that by being in the gym and getting better, but. Yeah, no, I mean, I've had a great time since summer league, and I was back home for a little bit. I spent a couple weeks with my family, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited. So I really can't wait to get going here. I kind of wanted this break to be kind of shorter, so I can get back to it.
Outside of basketball, though, you had a couple months now to be acclimated here in Orlando. What have been some of your favorite spots to go to, and just some different things in the community now call this place home?
I actually went to that farmer's market.
Did they go to that farmer's market? I figured you would.
Yeah, I saw him right before I went to Publix to get some groceries, and he went to that farmer's market that was right there at Lake Eola, and I went right through there after Publix. Got a nice loaf of bread from a local bakery. But now there's a couple really good restaurants. I was at Kabuki a couple weeks ago. Sushi Saint, that's a good spot too. And yeah, just kind of exploring the area, kind of exploring the restaurants and stuff, and doing stuff with Cole, and a bunch of teammates.
Tristan, since you joined the Magic, how have the fans make you feel welcome? Like, is there any specific moments or like any interactions with the fans that stood out to you?
I mean, when I was walking through that farmer's market, there were a bunch of people, taking pictures and wishing me best of luck. So I really do appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, through social media was probably the most love that I've gotten so far. Especially from the Brazilian community, which is a lot of fun.
Which team are you looking forward to playing this season and why?
There are a bunch of teams. I mean, there's going to be a lot of cities that going to be traveling to for the first time. A lot of famous arenas that I'll be seeing for the first time. A lot of superstars that I'll be seeing for the first time. So there's a lot of firsts. A couple of my teammates, I guess, that I'll see. So there's a bunch of teams that I look forward to.
Are there any milestones you look to accomplish this season?
Me personally, I'm more focused on the day-by-day work. I'm a believer in the results will come with the work that you put in. So I'm more focused on the input more than the output.
What are your conversations with Coach been like about coming into this pre-established group that has prided itself on continuity in the building over the last few years?
Right, just learning from everybody, growing with that team, and seizing opportunities that I can get. Since I'm versatile, it's kind of easier to plug me in to different situations and play me with different lineups. But we have major trust in each other.
And how much does that role excite you, being kind of the rookie, the student of the?
Yeah, I love that. I'm big on taking in every single day and kind of learning, picking stuff up from other guys, and I'll do that till the day I retire.
Additionally, what do you consider yourself right now? Where would you like to be in a couple?
I'm just a player out there. Throw me out there. It doesn't matter if you put me with 4 guards or you put me with 2 other bigs. I'll find my spots. I'll find kind of the right situation for me. I'll be making the right plays either way. And I think that's what they value here too.
Yeah, the opportunity.
how was that experience?
Yeah, that was great. But a couple of guys came out too. We're all on the sideline, and got to see a lot of my CU connections too, which I hadn't seen in a while. So it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Obviously, you and Jamal sharing the UC connection, is that something that kind of plays in your relationship a little bit?
Yeah, he was all decked out in Buffs gear, so love to see it.
After your rookie photo shoot a couple months ago, you had said, for a lack of better terms, that when you had watched KCP on the Lakers in the bubble, that's a guy that I want to play with. What have you taken from him so far, and what are you most excited to play with Kentavious?
Yeah, I mean, just the veteranship that he has, the experience that he brings to the table. I was obviously, and also playing with a guy like Jokic these last couple of years. We've talked a lot about the ball movement, the off-ball movement, kind of understanding the game, seeing the game through a different lens. And I feel like I've gained a lot from that.
You're here with the Wagner brothers. Obviously, your brother also played for the German national team. Any discussion about you playing for Germany in the future?
So far, I don't have an answer for you, but I would love to, yeah.
What does it mean to be a part of the Orlando Magic family?
It's huge. I mean, I was already out there doing some community work, giving back to the people. And just, it's amazing to have an impact on the city of Orlando, the Magic community, and it's bigger than basketball. So, thank you.
Like you guys had last season, where it goes 7 games and one team wins every one. How important does home court become, and how much does a training camp and games early in the season play in your guys' goal of reaching that?
I think that's huge. We didn't lose a game at home in the playoffs, so home court is definitely important, especially for our team. And getting off to a good start is important as well. You see teams, like Boston got off to a great start last year, and you see how it turned out for them. So, we got off to that 9-game win streak, which brought us, picked up some space. We needed that last game all the way to the last game of the season. So, just understanding that it's not going to come down to that last game. It starts that first game, and then those games in December, those games in January. So just being focused from the jump. Starts tomorrow training camp. And my bad. And we know, even Lowe's talked about it, we know getting off to great starts are important, and holding down the home court, especially in Orlando.
A lot of the teams back from last year. What do you think this group will learn from that playoff experience aside from how important home court advantage is?
I think it's just experience, and then being able to play in that type of atmosphere. That was amazing. Playing at home, playing on the road, it's two different contracts. Just having everybody supporting you, and then on the road, how hard it can be to win on the road. So just getting that experience, and nobody likes to lose in Game 7, but there's a lot of stuff we can learn from that, especially being up 18 at one point in the game. So it's just it hurts, but with the right mindset, belief, we know what type of talent we have in here, and we know it starts now. So it's going to be on us to get off to a good start, lock in, and just use that maturity we had in the playoffs and apply it to this upcoming season.
Gary, what went into your decision to come back this year?
I say it almost every training camp. We look at the facilities, the vibe we have around here, the team we have, it's special. And we've been building something. Each year, we've gotten better. So looking forward to taking another step this year, continue to grow this team, continue to grow this city, this organization, and continue to have fun because it's been great.
How important is it that you kind of see this thing through?
I think it's very important just to see how far we've come. I remember back when the COVID year when we was at 50% capacity when there's nobody in the stands, and fast forward to the playoffs where it's a sellout and the energy is crazy, and it's just it's a good feeling just to sit back and see how far we've come in such a short time, but it also gives you the motivation to keep working, just to see how far you can go with it, just take complete advantage of it. Mo says all the time, and as we all know, you have a short window to win in this league. And we feel like our window is here right now, so really just taking complete advantage of it. And with the stars and the players we have, and everybody's taking that next step. I think this is the year to do it.
There's a lot of youth on the
think it's huge. I mean, you have a lot more experience now. You know, having KCP, having Cory Joseph, you know, you got two guys who won championships, so for two different teams. So just being able to, you know, even for me to learn from them, because you know they've been in positions that I haven't been in, and I think they can provide that experience to the team. And just, you know, it starts now. And I think a lot of people just think it happens in the playoffs or during the season. But, you know, just bringing that mentality to start the season is definitely huge. And I think that's what, you know, I feel like we've already started.
Do you sense there's a different level of seriousness heading into this game?
I would just think it's maturity and it's urgency. You know, we got another year wiser, and we know how good and capable we can be. We knew how good we were going to be last year. Like, we believed it from the jump. I think we believe how good we're going to be this year. So just that urgency to go out there and do what we know we're supposed to do, and then show everybody that, you know, we're here to stay. That wasn't a fluke last year.
Yeah, it's a reoccurring theme that we see, not just with you, but guys that have been here, done that. Mo Wagner, Goga Bitadze, they talk about wanting to be here. You obviously came back this offseason. What do you think is the biggest staple as to what Coach Mosley has set here, as to why players want to come here and stay here?
I think it's just our standard. It's coming to work every day. Being able to come to work with a bunch of group of guys that you like being around with, that you can, you know, have open, honest conversations, you can hold accountable, that, you know, no one really is like, you know, everybody takes the ego out of it, and we're all working towards one goal. So just that type of environment is just, I mean, it's hard not to be, you know, not to want to be a part of that. You know, being in different situations around the league, you've seen different places, and it's not always like this. So just be able to, like I said, just take advantage of this, and, you know, not taking this opportunity for granted.
You're being one of the guys that was, like you said, here in 2020, stands weren't always filled. Were you or your teammates at all surprised by the atmosphere in the home games during the playoffs?
I don't think we were surprised. It was just the first time experiencing it. It was just like, I've seen what playoff games like. I know that type of energy, but just to see that here in Orlando, just to actually feel that, it was amazing. I mean, it started before the playoffs. It started that, you know, those games, you know, that Milwaukee game before that we had to win. It was just the vibes, the energy. It was crazy. You know, we didn't lose a game at home in the playoffs, so it was just. That's something that we got to continue to build on. And that's why we're making it so important to take care of the home court and continue to push on for these fans.
You already told me that your mother played in the WNBA. What was that like, being raised by a former WNBA player? And what do you think about the evolution of women's basketball?
I think the evolution of women's basketball has been huge. I mean, I watched women's basketball since the ABL. Back when they had the American Basketball League, my mom played for the Nashville Noise. She played for the Seattle Reign. And then the first year she was the WNBA was in existence, she played for the Detroit Shock. Then she had my middle brother, so she stopped playing. But just being around, like not necessarily understanding at the time, you know, what I was around, just being in you know, professional arenas, going to games. There's pictures of me sitting on the bench, especially at the Detroit Shock games, and you know, it's been great to see, especially like this year, like people really watching women's basketball, you know, locked in, watching the playoffs. And they've been playing great basketball, so I think it's great for, you know, the world to be able to see on a larger scale, to see, you know, all the work that they've been putting in.
How is your game similar to your mom's game?
They say I get my defense from her. She says she used to be on her defensive end for sure.
Thank you.
Areas you enter another one of these training camps now with so much experience on your side. What do you kind of cherish about this experience kind of leads to get to the season?
I mean, it's just like, I mean, sometimes you get lost in the fact, like I'm going into my 11th year in the NBA. Like, it's a blessing. Like, I'm living out my childhood dream. Like, I always dreamed about being in the NBA. And, you know, I'm still here, living out my dream, being able to contribute to a team with goals of, you know, winning the championship. So, I mean, I just think it's, you know, when you take a step back and look at the journey, man, it's amazing. And, you know, I'm so grateful. And, you know, by the grace of God, you know, I'm still on the journey. So just trying to keep going and see how long it goes, how long I can take it, how long it goes, and trying to make the most of it. Thank you.
Caleb, you know, after going through a playoff series last season, how important does home court become? You saw every team win its home game in that series. And how much does things like training camp, games early in the season, you know, work towards getting that goal?
Yeah, I think it's very important. Like you said, just the crowd, just the comfortability being at home. Obviously easier playing at home, everyone knows that. So I think that just shows how important all the games are in the regular season are, just to get all those wins and don't take any games for granted, because it could add up to something by the end of the year for sure.
You got a little taste of playing time last year. What did you kind of learn from going through that experience and playing meaningful minutes of the team?
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot. I think just a lot of good players in the league. You got to come to play every day. That's probably the biggest thing I learned. And just continue to get better, working on my game.
Entering your third year, what do you want to show? How do you want your game to expand this season?
I think just continuing to get better, just continuing to work on the things that I'm already good at, and then improve on my weaknesses. Just continue to shoot the ball well, and just taking it day by day.
I don't know if you probably noticed that the weight last year was measured, you gained 20-30 pounds. How much have you worked on your body? Is that a real thing? Or?
No. I have worked on my body, but I haven't gained 30 pounds. That's crazy. I definitely gained weight, but not 30 pounds.
How important is it to work on your body as you mature and grow in the city?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's a grown man league. So just obviously every year continue to get stronger, moving better, just working on your body in the weight room, strength and conditioning. I think it's super important. I definitely worked on a lot, but 30 pounds is crazy.
Caleb, what do you think a successful season looks like for the team this year?
I think just coming in every day and just playing to our standards, what Coach said. I think if we just play to our standards, play together, communicate, I think we'll be just fine.
What just kind of go around some of the training camp taught you in preparation for this?
I think just taking the time to kind of lock in before the season starts, kind of get back with the teammates that you haven't been with for a while, get that chemistry back going, and also just having fun, getting back into it. You know what I mean? Playing basketball again, being able to play games, being around teammates, friends. So just embrace it. Embrace it.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received on or off the court?
I'm gonna say on the court, talking to a coach at my pre-draft, and just stay in the gym. You know what I mean? Just continue working on your game, no matter where you're going through ups and downs in life. Basketball, just continue to stay in the gym and work on your game.
And what song do you absolutely must have on your playlist before the game?
Must have? It's not a specific song, but anything Drake is cool with me.
Caleb, did you accomplish anything fun this summer? Like anything stood out to you?
No, I'm not gonna lie, not really.
What do you think about now y'all can slip up on teams this year? Everybody's aware of you. What's your mindset going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's good. I think we just keep on improving. Like you said, we're not really going to be sneaking up on teams anymore. But I think the goal is still the same. Still play the same way. So I think it's good. Just keep on improving every day and playing to our standards for sure.
Coach Mose has called you a machine for the methodical nature of which you go about your routine. What are some of the biggest adjustments you've made to your routine over the course of your NBA?
I think just being able to balance, like not putting too much wear and tear on your body, but also trying to work on the game. I think still trying to figure that out, but just making sure I get my recovery in when like I do have a harder session or stuff like that. Just making sure I balance out so I'm still feeling good. Probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, thanks, David.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you.
Time plays good. Good. How you doing?
Yeah, another one.
Good. I know. Free string. Jay, you know, for some guys, it's, you know, welcome back, but you spent a lot of time in this gym this summer. You know, how much work did you put in, and how good do you feel about what you accomplished?
Put in a ton of work. I mean, we've been here all summer since we got off in April. So yeah, it's not really a welcome back. It's just another day in the office. But no, I feel super confident about the work I do. Just from, you know, a confidence standpoint, I'm just more confident in certain areas of my game. Just ready to display.
How much did being around this team last year for when you were give you hunger to add to it this year?
Oh, it's
it's like a team full of dogs. I was super happy to be drafted by this team and be around this culture every day. They push you, and if you want to go faster, they say, if you want to go faster, you run with faster dogs. Now I'm trying to go faster.
Jett, after a great summer league and working with your dad, in general, what is the biggest lesson you are taking into this new season?
Don't get too high, don't get too low. Staying in the middle, staying even keel. Not trying to overreact to maybe a bad game. It's a long season, so probably that.
We always talk about the offense and the need to improve, and I think everyone we've talked to that we've asked has said that they expect the offense to be better. How do you see yourself fitting into that?
I feel like a glove. I've always been pretty good at on the offensive side of the ball, so just making open shots, and even I feel like I can create for others too. So making plays and being aggressive, I think I'll help out.
What are some of your goals coming into this season?
Winning. That's probably the biggest goal. I think as a team we should try to get to the finals and if not win the finals. I think that's a big goal for the team. Well, I think we got enough to get around the world.
Which team are you most looking forward to playing this season?
Probably Miami because I'm from there. Home opener down in Miami. I hope I don't have to sell out too many tickets. I don't want to try and get ahead of that, but probably that.
And what's the best piece of advice your dad ever gave you?
Best piece of advice? He gave me a lot of advice. The best advice he probably gave me is the game is, he felt like the game came natural to me, so just don't overthink it. And you're playing a kid's game, so just have fun.
How big of a training camp can it be for you, as you try to find a role and carve one out for yourself on this team?
It's a huge training camp. But, you're just going to approach it same as any other training camp like I did last year. Same intensity. And yeah, try to battle it out and get a job.
Thanks, Jett.
Starting off with Miami and Brooklyn has to be pretty exciting.
Oh, that's the best situation.
I was going to ask you. Sir, try the right side.
Judah, what's happening?
You meet a softball. What's up?
Yeah. Right up here. Jonathan, after going through a 7-game playoff series last year where every team won the home game, how important does skating home court become, and how important is the training camp to the early games in the season become for you guys to acquire home court?
Yeah, I think just starting the season with a sense of urgency. It pays off, but later you don't got to look back and say, man, I wish we started this. I wish we didn't drop any of those games or anything like that. So it's important, and it's something that we have our sights on. We want to have home court advantage coming into the playoffs, and so that's what we're working towards.
How important was this summer for you? What do you think you gained from having a healthy summer and work on your game instead of your body?
Just that, being able to work on my game, being able to put some weight on, it's been great for me, and so I'm excited about that.
What is the biggest adjustment to your game that you feel like you made over the summer?
I think continuing to work on the 3-ball has been big for me this summer, and putting on size as well. I put on a considerable amount of weight, so I'm looking forward to being on the court again.
Jonathan, after a full off-season without rehab, how are you feeling? Like, what impact do you hope to make on the Magic now that you are healthy and ready to come?
I feel great. I feel great. I'm happy to be around, and I think the impact is just my biggest impact is being available. And so to be fully available, to not have any restrictions, to not be worried about am I going to play back-to-backs or not, or how they're going to use me or limit me in any way, I feel great about just being available and being around the team and being able to play.
Have they told you all those restrictions are off, that you're fully available and they need you when
I mean, we haven't had that conversation, but I couldn't see why.
Jonathan, we just saw in the basketball world have A.J. Griffin step away from basketball. And I've seen you had tweeted out saying that the game had lost not just a great player, but we're gaining a better man. Sure. Have you had an opportunity to reach out to AJ about his journey, and just what were your thoughts about that?
Not specifically on this, him back, stepping down from the league, but me and him had talked, quite a bit earlier. That's him first getting into the league and everything. But he's a great dude. He's making a decision for himself and his family, and I respect that and I honor that. I'm a little selfish and say, man, I wish he was still a part of the league, having another brother.
in the faith. But you know, God has called him to a different thing, and I'm glad he's honoring that and being transparent about it to the world. And it's, you know, he's got my respect.
At this point, do you find it difficult to sort of balance that, you know, faith versus basketball aspect like AJ seems to?
Me personally, not so much. I just try my best to be authentic every day and just be who I am and use that as an avenue and a platform that God has given me. And so it's not necessarily a confrontation on my front, but I understand where he's coming from when he wants to do it full time and be a part of a full-time ministry, and I respect that.
How does it feel signing that new contract after all the limitations, rehab, and restrictions that you put on?
It's amazing. You know, I shouldn't be here. I don't think anybody's been through what I've been through, and you know, had the ability to sign the contract that I just did. So it's a blessing. I'm grateful to God for it, and looking to, you know, show why the Magic still believe in me.
JR, you got your deal. Other guys on your team got some deals and extensions too. What is it like to see the organization paying for you guys to have the continuity and that camaraderie to still stay in the game?
Amazing. I think they recognize the team that we can be. You know, to have gone where we went last season and to have added when we added, you know, the offensive piece with KCP, the defensive piece with him. I think they see what we can be, and so I'm just excited to be a part of it.
Can you talk a little bit about your new shoe brand and what biblical quote do you have on your shoes today?
Yeah, so Unitas is a Christian sports and apparel company that I started. Really just giving Christians the opportunity to take the word of God with them on and off the court, stand for their faith, share their faith. I'm wearing the Judah 1 lows right now. They got Psalm 51:7 on the back of them. Cleanse me, Lord, make me as white as snow. And each shoe has a Bible verse on it. So you can check out Unitas if you want to.
I said, since you're from leaving Florida State and coming here, give me a sense of how you feel. You came out of college, Orlando Magic, you still Orlando Magic. So what you contribute that to?
Yeah, I attribute it to God, honestly. I'm so thankful that I'm still here. You know, one of the questions that I asked the front office man, like, you know, why did you guys, you know, stick with me? And they said, because we saw it from the beginning. So to be here, to have them have their faith in me, you know, I want to be a part of the Magic, you know, my entire career if I can. So I'm excited about that and just want to play the game of basketball.
Last year we had seen that you had played the 5 in some spurts here and there, especially down the stretch of the season. There were times you said you were comfortable and there were times you were still learning the role. How do you feel like you've grown into that this past season, throughout the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll see. I think putting on some weight was good for me. If coach is going to put me in at the 5 at all, I'll be ready. And again, it's still a learning process for me. I still got to figure it out. But I think if we do it a little bit more throughout the season, it'll be a little more comfortable for me at the end of the season. And so looking for whatever, you know, however coach wants to use me.
What have you spoke at Pat Williams' service? Yeah. To see the PW patch on there, you know, with him being a man of faith, you know, how cool is that to see, and what does that mean to you?
Yeah, he's you know, honestly just an incredible man. And you know, I got to know him a little bit and learn about him, but being at the memorial service and hearing about all the amazing things that he's done, people that he's helped, and just light that he shined, you know, in the world, it motivated me and challenged me at the same time. But I was just enormously honored to speak at his memorial and to be with his family.
What have you learned from KCP defensively? How do you think the two of you on the court can create one of the better defensive guys?
Well, I haven't learned anything yet. Once we get in the training camp, I'm sure I will. And it goes without saying, you know, him being on the floor, Suggs, myself, and us continuing to grow in a more defensively minded team, even though our offense is going to be better this season, I can only see us taking a step in the right direction and growing. And so I'm excited about that.
How much weight have you made?
I finished the season at 219. I'm 250 right now.
Thanks for 30 pounds.
John, with your you know, more added availability, do you feel like that'll help you sort of expand your role and expand your what you're on for?
I mean, I would say yeah. I think just the comfortability of being a part and not having the, you know, I'm in this game, I'm out of the lineup, I'm figuring out how I can get back. I think just everybody, it helps everybody just be a little bit more calm and comfortable with me being out there on the floor, and I'm expecting that to grow for sure.
Do you have any hidden talents that no one knows about?
I can juggle, and I'm a pretty good shot.
And what song do you absolutely must have on your game day playlist?
What song? J. Monty, Meteorite is what I'm bumping right now.
Your second Magic team that's been second different kind of Magic team that's been in the playoffs. Do you sense a different level of kind of seriousness or intention about you guys heading into camp this year?
Yeah, I think just the experience was great, but it left a bitter taste in our mouths. And we want to get better, we want to grow, we want to figure out how we could have been better. I think the front office has done their part in terms of getting us, guys and taking us to the next level that way. And now it's our responsibility to grow as individuals and become a better team.
What is your pregame repertoire?
I mean, I listen to my music. I usually have a phone call with my pastor before the game and just praise. No more injuries. And, talk to my wife. That's about it.
You're very spiritual. You've been able to keep your spirituality from the first time I met you to now. How did you manage to keep that?
Just that. I mean, it's real. It's a reality. It's because of the people around me. I got my pastor in my life. My wife is a beautiful woman of faith. She keeps me grounded. And I know that it's not because of me. It's because of him at the end of the day and what he's done for me. And I try my best to just be thankful and live that out.
Jonathan, as you kind of reflect over the last few years, you mentioned you've been to a couple different playoff teams now. As you kind of look at that process and you experience everything you've been through, what do you kind of cherish most about that?
What do I cherish most? I think what I cherish most is that I'm still here. To have been through what I've been through, the ups and downs of just the Magic basketball period. I've been through the lows, I've been through the highs, and to still be here as we're coming off a high low with losing, but obviously a high with making it to the Game 7. I'm excited to see where we go from here.
John, we've seen some of the clips of you shooting on social media. What got you into that? What is it? What is it about that you enjoy?
I just love it. It's an amazing pastime for me. I love training with it. It's just fun. And so I got into it a couple years ago, but now I think I'm good enough now to be able to show for it. But I enjoy it. It's my favorite pastime, and I've got some of my teammates involved in it as well, and they like it. So, yeah.
Who else besides you is special on the team?
I got to go Wendell. Wendell can shoot.
What does it mean to you to be a part of the Orlando Magic's family?
Just honored. I'm honored. I wear it with pride, and I'm excited to still be around and to take it seriously. We're a serious team. We're walking into the season with a chip on our shoulder about what we did in last season, and we want to be great. We want to win it all. So we're not thinking that we can't. We're not taking a backseat to anybody. We want to prove that we belong here, and we're going to do that this season.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, John.
I wasn't even in the city.
You guys?
Yeah, he does. Is it on?
Yeah. Oh, step up. I thought you were giving me a handshake. Come on.
Two for one, just like getting on the line.
I did point five.
Which one? Pardon me?
Talk about helping his ball club win games.
Yeah, I think winning games obviously starts, it's been started. We got together in the off season, as a team, learning about each other off the court, and help on the court definitely, and just being prepared whenever my name is called. Make sure I've done a lot of work in the off season to make sure I'm in tip-top shape, and just utilizing my experience. This is obviously we have a younger squad, but a very talented squad. So for me, just being a connector, leading in different ways, and reading the game, the lines in between the lines. That's where I've kind of been. That's my specialty in terms of however many years this is for me. It's always been that, being a connector.
What made you choose Orlando? What is attractive about coming here?
A lot of things. A lot of things. Obviously, the incredibly talented, team that we have. Seeing, what they were able to accomplish last year, and just trying to build on that. And where I'm at in my career, I think, goes well with what they're doing here. And just a lot of things. Obviously, organization, from Jett Weltman all the way down. Obviously, I've got to know him when I was in Toronto. So, I know what type of guy he is. So, a lot of things. Coach Mo's, a lot of things.
How does his facility stack up with some of the practice?
This is the best. This is the best. This is top notch, man. Sometimes I'm looking around this facility like, dang, do we need this much? This is top notch.
What was your priorities during this summer?
I think just getting better physically, just making sure I'm in tip-top shape coming into this season, and that was probably number one. And then just keep building, basketball-wise, just keep building.
Well, you've been around some really good teams. What potential do you see with this young Magic roster?
There's a lot of potential here. Sky's the limit. I mean, it's what we make of it this year. So there's going to be no surprises. We're going to have to just, grind each and every day and each and every game. So we'll see how that turns out.
Are there any milestones you hope to accomplish this season?
Pardon me?
Are there any milestones you hope to accomplish this season?
The goals, I think obviously all of our goals when you play basketball is a championship, but there's so many things within that that we have to achieve, and I think it's just about like I said, just one day at a time, putting one foot in front of the next, because it sounds cliche, but I mean it's really what you got to do. I've been fortunate enough to be on a championship team, and we never really talked about winning it that year. We just kind of we're putting one foot in front of the next and continuing to hold each other accountable and communicate that, and just continue to grind really and be dogs.
This is such a young team, still experiencing success. How valuable is your insight and get to the next level?
Yeah, I think it would be very valuable. One of the many reasons why I think both of us are here. I think we can add value in that regard. But by any means, I think we're ready for sure to take on whatever challenge it is that we're going to face this season. And for me, I'll definitely try to speak up whenever time is needed, whenever I feel like it would be helpful in the locker room, practice, whatever it may be, and hopefully add value.
How much time have you gotten to spend around your new teammates and the worst things that maybe you've learned?
Yeah, I got to spend some time around them just in the off season. When I sign, getting with guys, working out, getting to know them through dinners and whatnot that we've had. Still learning obviously, but picking up some things about each individual, like as we go along. I bought J.I.'s book, Why I Stand, so I'll be reading that, just to learn about his journey and just getting with other guys. I learned that Jett doesn't live too far from me in the off season, so just learning about guys. So it's been good.
As one of the veteran leaders on this team, what is it that you're looking to impart, especially with the guards on this roster?
I think just the experiences that I've had, like when I was earlier in my career, I won't say younger because I'm still young, you know what I mean? But when I was earlier in my career, I think that's what I've gained the most from, is going to a team like San Antonio, where I had a lot of veterans that experienced a lot of different things that, and I was able to just pick up off of that. And I think that's just what I'm here for these youngins, to not only be in the gym with them and grind with them every day, and just as much as they'll learn from me as I'll learn from them. You know what I mean? Just new ways, whatever it is, how they see things, so we're here to bounce off each other, that quote unquote young energy, you know what I mean? So just the experience part, I think.
Last year we spoke to some of the players, and they'd say that the narrative around the matchup was changing. From your limited perspective in Golden State, how did you see that change, and what do you expect that to go forward?
The change here? Yes. Oh yeah, I've definitely seen it change over the years. Last year, teams, knew that it was talented, but then I think they still kind of came in here and kind of, were shocked in terms of the atmosphere that the fans were even bringing, the team, and how good, this team really is and really could be. So I think that's no surprise this year, and I think that we got to embrace that and be ready for that.
Everyone good here? One more, Mason.
I asked Gary kind of a similar question, but on a personal level for you, just being on the training camp that you're getting ready for, is there something that you kind of look forward to from this process and that you maybe cherish, or just being back in the training room setting?
Yeah, it's always a special time when you get to be in this league first of all, and come to training camp. So it's a time when you're figuring it out. You have the direction where you want to go and where you want the season to go, and it's a time just to gel and kind of just push that forward. So it's always special times. It's a grueling time on your body and whatnot, but that's what you prepare for in the off season for. So very excited about it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
guys from?
Surprised I even have this right here. I ain't gonna lie. I'm surprised I'm even here. I feel like
You're only two.
I think I'm only two. Yeah.
What have you learned about the Orlando Magic organization being part of this, and what are some of the things you're hoping to accomplish here come training camp?
I think the biggest part of the Magic organization is togetherness. I think it's about being a good person first, rather than being a basketball player. I think we're all at this level for a reason, because we're good at basketball. I think the important thing is off the court as well. Like, are you a good person? Can I come talk to you? Can I trust you as a person? And here it's just like, it's all family orientated. So if you're here playing with your family or for your family, it makes the job so much easier.
Moving on to a contract, how much importance do you put personally on trying to stay level? Obviously, knowing that your role can essentially change one single month.
I think it's easy for me because I love the game itself. Like, I'm not worried about what it brings to me. I know, like, I love the game of basketball. So whenever my name's called or opportunity's called, I'm gonna be ready for it because I know I'll put the work in. And now that I have a coaching staff and an organization that believes in me, I feel like that gives me a green light to just believe in myself even more now. So like, I'm not worried about messing up or making mistakes. I'm out there just having fun.
What did you learn being part of this team last year? Even if you weren't able to play in the playoffs, it doesn't encourage you to. What did you learn being around this team as they were preparing for the playoffs and going through these things?
I think you can't get like too emotionally unbalanced. You gotta stay level-headed. You gotta stay ready. Like you see in Game 7, when you're up 18, but like one play can take it all the way up here. But we can't allow our emotions to go up and down with that. You gotta stay level-headed and stay ready to play basketball. I think the most important thing I learned was like you gotta have heart. You gotta be a dog on this team, or you're not getting in the game. Because coach will throw you in there, you got to guard Luka, and then you got to guard Giannis. So you got to be ready to have any type of challenge and have that dog mentality.
You were with this team last year. This time the training camp, obviously, a lot of focus on getting to the playoffs. Do you sense a different level of focus this time around as you guys are preparing for this season and what you guys hope to accomplish as a team?
Yeah, I think we're building from last year, like knowing that teams haven't really respected us throughout the years, and now that we have to understand that we belong now. We belong in the playoffs. We belong at a chance to win a championship. We belong here. So for us, it's just having that confidence, having that belief that we belong there. So for us, just being more attentional to the details now, like who's on the court, who's spacing, who's passing. That comes with just gym work. I think the biggest part of it is just knowing that we belong now.
Trevelin, the organization brought back most of the team, not everybody. Obviously, brought you back and you wanted to come back. What does that mean that they continue to have that belief in you? And what was it about this organization that made you want to stay here?
Like I said, I'm a family man, so for me, like, I walk into a building and I feel like I'm wanted and I'm welcome, which is like allowing me to be myself and not to be nobody else. That's a plus for me, you know what I mean? Because the job's already hard and the grass isn't always green on the other side. So for me, I just love the camaraderie, I love the togetherness, I love everything they stand for in Orlando.
What do you think makes a successful season for this team?
He's doing better than last year. I think that's for any team. For any team to be successful, you want to win a championship at the end of the day, but as long as you can get farther than you were last year, I think that's a positive win too. Like, I think no injuries, everybody's good in health, everybody's good in prayer. I think that's the most important thing.
On paper, it looks like your role this year could be similar to what Admiral had last year. You know, learning from him last year, how do you want to take what he was able to do last year and apply it this season?
I think just being a pro's pro. Like I said, moving as a professional, whether you're playing, whether you're not playing, being a great locker room guy. Like I said, whether you're playing or not playing, he always had positive energy. Like, he was always focused on the game plan. Like, he wasn't playing and we were making mistakes in the game. He would say something at halftime because he was focused and locked in even though he wasn't playing. I think being a pro's pro and having a positive mentality going in each and every game.
You were on the West Coast trip last year, I believe, when they made the stop in Sacramento and then Denver. You know, how much did a trip like that where the team was, banged up show you how quickly your role could change? I think you even got nicked up in Sacramento, and you're trying to rush you right back into the game because that's how important your role became. How much did a trip like that teach you, like, anything in this league could happen, you have to be ready for any moment?
I think that just goes to show you, like, you have to continue to put the work in because you really never know when your name is going to be called. It's a long season. And for me, like, even I was sick in that whole trip. Like, the whole team was sick. We were always throwing up at the end of the halftime and stuff like that. But for me, I always had the mindset that, like, whenever I go in there, I will run through a wall for anybody on the court that's on my team. If I gotta go out there and play 38 minutes or 5 minutes, I'm gonna go out there and compete at a high level, no matter who I'm guarding, who's in front of me. I really don't care at the end of the day. You got to show me that you're better than me. I put the same amount of work that you do, and I feel like I belong. So, given the opportunity, I'm always going to try to showcase that I belong out there.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received on or off the court?
Be yourself. I think a lot of people lose themselves in this job. Like, they want to be somebody who they're not, or like be accepted by these people because you got to act this way. I think just being yourself makes everything a lot easier.
And what's on your game day playlist?
My game day playlist? I got Gospel, Take Me to the King by Tamela Man. Yes, ma'am.
you.
I feel professional. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Thank you guys so
Get
much.
those reps in.
Good morning now.
From there now.
You back.
How's it going?
See you all, Jason. How are you?
Good. Jay, as you guys went through a playoff series last year where every team won a home game, how important does home court become, and how much of a factor are things like training camp and games early in the season to really acquiring?
Very prevalent. I mean, as you see, it's okay to laugh about it now because we're out of it. We didn't win one on the road last year, so it shows the importance of being at home, and also not winning a game, on the road in the playoffs shows the importance of this time right now of training camps, of coming together, of establishing what we're going to do, who we want to be, and holding ourselves to that standard. I think is something that I'm excited to do this year as a team is the respect factor, the communication factor, all of our growth. I think we're all another year older, a year more mature, not only in our game, but who we are as humans. And that's special. That's growth right there. And to be able to do it with almost the same group. You got KCP and Kojo, who are great people. I can't wait to add them to this mix and continue to get to know them. But this is almost the same roster that we had, excluding some of our brothers who have moved on to some other things. So I can't wait.
What did you work on this summer? What is improvement?
I've worked on myself. For me, a big thing for my growth is some of his mind, body, and spirit. Growing myself as a basketball player always. It's who I am. It's the business that God has placed me in. Naturally, I have to continue to elevate my game. As I want more responsibility, as I want to continue to take this next step, not only as a player but as a team. I know that I have to do more and be better. And so that was a big part of me this summer was working on my cadence, my pace, cleaning up my handle, and making sure that in wanting more responsibility, I'm able to accept it, and put myself in positions to where I'm doing it all naturally. Now, handling the ball isn't something that I'm thinking about. It's something that comes natural, second nature, because of the work that I've done, all summer. So that's been a big piece. And then I think my mind and my spirit, as always, I've come to love it. I've come to love myself. And part of loving yourself is diving deep into it. Asking yourself questions that, you don't always want to answer, but in order to grow, you kind of have to. I think I've done those things. Spend time with family and friends. I've gotten back home and spent a lot of time in Minnesota. And got to really relax, refresh, recharge my batteries. So that at this point in the year, I'm ready to go. Again, I'm ready to give the city, my brothers, this organization, everything I have. And that's the rest of it. It's in every aspect. Growing myself as a human.
What's your excitement level for you and KCP finally getting to work together this year?
I can't wait. Honestly. Just even through our short stints together in mini camp and then through our couple days here, it's been great. To bounce off each other. He's been so open, and giving his insight, his perspective on all of his situations. Everywhere he's been, from his championship winning squads, to being in Detroit, and that's a completely different situation. And dealing with vets who have been in the game, a different organization field, and a team who's competing for a championship. So it's been super dope having him in the building. Can't wait to continue playing defense with him, not only, but growing with him. Inviting him into this brotherhood along with Kojo. This is something that we've curated here. It's a family-friendly environment, a place where you can naturally and authentically be yourself. And I can't wait to see who KCP is authentically.
What's the difference in energy between now and a year ago?
I think it's more intentional. This is the most excited I've been for a basketball season in a long time. Last year, the excitement was different. I was excited to prove to myself who I was. To apply all the work, some of the work that I'd done for the first time. And I thought it was very cool. It was a great year, a successful year. The energy this year is different. So much fun and excitement still. So much laughter and joy. That'll never change with this organization, with the people that we have here. But the intention, man, and the competitiveness, being in the playoffs and being close, and seeing how invested the city was in us, I think for me personally was huge. And then losing was huge. It sounds negative, but you have to learn from those things. Understanding that negatives and losses are a part of life is critical in growth and experiencing the good for all that it is. And I think that's exactly what I've been doing. Learning from the losses, learning from last playoffs, and the hurt that it brought me, the tears that came to my eyes from that loss. to this year, to where I can't wait to take on more challenges, to win more games, to do more for this city and continue to grow, as a unit, all of us.
You mentioned the intention that seems like this kind of does it feel like there's a bit more seriousness of what you guys have to do and knowing to back the playoffs and to the end?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like I said, it's part of growth. You can't come in here and be all laughs and giggles and not take moments seriously, because that would be a discredit, to what we've done, be a discredit to the growth that we've all made, throughout our lives and throughout our NBA careers. So yeah, I think the intention is completely different. It's much more competitive. Everyone wants to win. Everyone knows the pain that we felt last year. KCP and Kojo coming in have seen NBA teams, NBA champions, and know what it takes to get there. And so they're bringing all that knowledge in with our fire, with our hunger, to win, for each other, for the city, and for all of our work, all of our dedication and sacrifices that we've given personally and collectively. And so you have to be a bit more serious. You have to take training camp as a bit more serious. You have to take some of these practices and conversations and communication to the next level. But the respect level never changes. The joy never changes. And that's what makes this place so special.
Jalen, we talked to Coach Mosley about you having more of a responsibility in the offense, settling the team, organizing the offense. What did you work on this summer to help get you ready for that, and are you relishing that opportunity?
Completely relishing. It's something that I've wanted from the day I've stepped into this league. Wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't ready for it. God knew that, and he slowed me down through injuries, through bad times, through trials, and really tested my resolve. How bad I wanted to be here, and I want to be here. I don't want to be anywhere else. And to have another year, another opportunity to come back and do that for this summer for me was important. It helped me dive back into my work. It helped me get back off of the couch after a couple of weeks of chilling from that playoff series. Back into moving my body. Getting the ball into my hand. I've done a deep dive into film. I did it last year, but I've taken another leap. I feel like this summer and heading into this year, and studying the game. Understanding that what comes with this position that I'm asking for, responsibility, and the respect factor that I have for all my teammates, for the coaches, for the staff, for this organization. That if I come in and understanding I'm going to have more and I'm doing less, that would be a disservice pretty much. So really, I'm excited to take on the task. It's a challenge that I've stared in the eyes. I've looked at. I've asked myself if I wanted it. And the answer is a resounding yes. And I can't wait to not only show the work, but experience the process and the journey of another season with more.
Jalen, what do you feel like you and this team need to prove this season coming off of last season?
That's the fun part. I don't think we need to prove anything. I don't think we need to prove anything to ourselves or to anybody. We need to come in and continue, again, respecting ourselves, respecting the work, and understanding what we have going on right now. The front office has brought all of us together. They kept this unit the same, and that's a blessing. That's not something that happens very often. To keep everybody here, to keep the same unit around. Especially not only through our losses, but through a year of prosperity. You see teams go and change up and bring in new pieces. We brought in KCP and Kojo, two great people. Two people who want to play good basketball and help this organization grow. Therefore, we need to improve it. We need to come in and take each day with a sense of seriousness, a sense of joy, and again, just enjoy the opportunity that we have at hand.
Jalen, you've got You've got USA basketball experience in your past, obviously, but you and Jamal are going to spend a few days on the Vegas this summer. What did that do for you, and is that an experience that you would like to replicate in the future?
I think playing for USA is the ultimate. I think it's the ultimate goal for me personally. Having the United States of America across your chest, being this is where I grew up at, this is where I'm from. This place is perfectly imperfect. I'm not saying by any means that the United States has everything right, but this is the place that made me. And so I think to be able to have that opportunity to go there and represent the United States, from a basketball standpoint, it's super cool. It's something that I've worked at my entire life, and to be there with Coach Mosley was dope. I think we've taken another leap in our relationship. We've always been, coach player, but a lot more of, friends almost father figure. Coach Mosley has been to me, and so to go there together, get that experience, that knowledge, bounce ideas off of each other, and then grow. Have conversations about this year, about what we want to do. It's continued to evolve and grow, stemming off of that, which has been super cool. So very grateful for that.
Jalen, you're eligible for a rookie extension. How confident are you that gets done?
I love that you asked that. This morning, and I woke up preparing. I had some Bob Marley blasting on the speakers. All my blinds and windows open, sunshine into my apartment. I opened my booklet, 365 Bible verses. Finally opened it. I had him use it to the first verse, Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans for a future. And I lean on that. And I thought it was so cool that God sent me that message this morning. I miss all that's going on. I miss the contract talk. I miss the start of a new season. This is where I am, and I can place my full confidence that God will bring those things to me when I'm ready, as He brought last season to me when I was ready. A year of growth, a year of great basketball and winning here. So yeah, that's what I'm leaning on. I know they're taking care of business. I have a great agent who I love and who I trust with all my heart. So I know him and Jeff are doing work. I trust Jeff in this organization, and I'm playing basketball. I'm ready to lead and ready for year forward.
What does it mean to you to be a part of the Orlando Magic family?
This place raised me. This has been part of my growth as a human being. A pivotal point in my life, not my career, in my life. Coming in here as a 19, going on to a 20-year-old young man, this place has seen my ups and downs. This place has experienced all that I have. This is where I've lived. This is where my family has called home for the past 4 years. So this place has my entire heart. For as long as I'll be here, this place has my whole heart. And I just can't wait to continue to, again, come out here on the court and show how appreciative and how grateful I am for this place and everything they've done for me through my play and through everything I do.
Jalen?
That last one for her.
Thank you. Last season you made a huge leap, especially on the defensive side. So now as a Magic heading to the new season, how do you plan on taking your game even further, both as a shooter and a playmaker?
Great question. I think through work, through continued work. Stacking days is something I truly believe in, and coming in here every day with this staff, with these players, with this organization, everybody who's in this building from a day-to-day basis, it makes it easy to come in and get better. I want to get better for all of them, for myself, and when it comes to upping the game, upping my game, I want to win. Especially coming off the last season in the playoffs, I don't want to feel that pain anymore. I want to feel the joy of celebration, of winning, with everybody, with the group that we have here, with the excitement level and the love that we have from the fans and the passion that they bring. I want to win for them. I don't want to keep, celebrating and hearing you had a great season. Next year's coming. I want to see the parades, coming through the seats, through these streets, down Orange and through downtown Orlando. That's what I'm visualizing. That's what I'm seeing. And again, that makes it easy for me to work. That makes coming in here and on a day when my body's hurting, come get up shots, come do some ball handling and then get treatment. It makes it all easier. So yeah, that's where my motivation factors lie, and it pushes me to keep getting better in those areas. Thank you guys. Good to see you all. My God.
Franz, after going through a playoff series, went 7 games with every team winning, their home game, how important does home court become, and how important does it make, training camp and games that happen early in the season as you try to set your home court?
Yeah, obviously super important. I think that playoff experience was super valuable for everybody on the team, and it was the first time for a lot of us. So I'm sure everybody is super motivated to get back to it. And like you said, I think those games in January and February now have a lot more meaning.
How would you define success this year for yourself?
For myself, I think get better individually, obviously, and then try to step into a leadership role, take responsibility for not just what I do, but what we do as a team as well. And I think it's always easy to come up with cool goals and stuff like that, but you only get there if you focus on the right stuff.
What did you work on this summer?
Obviously, a lot of my shot, get the mechanics right, my mindset too. I think that's where it starts, coming in with the right mentality, and just having a clear mind on what I want to accomplish, and what the team's intentions are, and I think that's what I can get. I think from the outside, probably. I think for myself, I always put a lot of pressure on me, so that didn't really change that.
I was asked about kind of a similar question, but you guys were in the summer trainers, like sort of that experience before that.
Yeah, it was super special. My first time playing the Olympics. It was a really cool experience. I tried to do my best to see some of the other events as well. And we were actually staying in the village, so it was pretty cool to see that. And obviously didn't have the result that we wanted, but that's how life goes sometimes. I think still that experience.
Franz, there's a lot of talk about trying to get to home court advantage. What do you think is the biggest hurdle for the squad at this point?
The biggest hurdle? Yeah. I think there's a lot of hurdles every season for every team. I think obviously the coaches do a great job of figuring that stuff out and prioritizing stuff in practices. And as players, I think coming in training camp, I think it's the first thing is to just focus on that. And, the results and all of that, we'll see what happens after the season. But as players, all we can do is control what happens right now and these next couple of weeks, and that's what we should do.
What are you learning about team defense as you're moving through there, and how you kind of grow and learn in double teams and some of the other
Yeah. I think one, it's figuring out as a team what we want to get to in those situations, and it's not just a one-man job or the person with the ball. At the end of the day, it's a team sport, and we got to figure that stuff out. And then it's on individual players to get better in those situations. And obviously for myself as well, if there's two guys on me, that means somebody else is good.
Did you want to become a better playmaker, a better kind of passer, as you kind of learn how to drive and still get a more basket to try and take that away?
For sure, I think, no offense, but I think from the outside, I'm like, now he has more assists, that means he's a better playmaker, which is true, but you can be a good playmaker without making an assist. So, I think the right play is always the right play, and I think we've got great coaches that always are going to obviously, I didn't see him that much because I wasn't over here a lot, but the time that obviously I'm super impressed. Obviously, he's really mature already and knows what his game is, and he's just a really smart player. I think he can shoot the three really well. I think he start off with the low as well, and I think he's going to fit right in.
Obviously, adding pace. What do you think of the right pace?
I think he addresses a lot of stuff that we need to be better at. Obviously, fits right in with his defensive mentality and being a super impactful guy on that end. And obviously, when shooting. And just having, I think, a locker room voice, being a veteran, having been in a lot of playoff battles, I think will help us with that.
How down were you after Game 7 last year? You looked really down and you selected the game. What are you going through that adversity? How does that make
Yeah, obviously super frustrated. You see that. So, but those are moments you got to go through as a player, and as a person, and that's part of life. It's not always going to go great. And the weeks after that, I took a long time for myself to reflect on the experience, and especially on that game and what went wrong and what I got to improve on. And that's what was my sole focus.
How much of it is physical? Where's your confidence?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. It's not always one thing that it's coming from that. And once you miss a couple, you start overthinking stuff, and that doesn't help obviously. So I think working on a shot is as much mental as it's physical, and try to work on both of them. Yeah.
How intrinsic is that feedback loop, that process of trying to figure out what it is with the shot?
What was the question?
Just with the feedback process regarding how you work on the shot and stuff, what is that?
Yeah, I think that's something you gotta as a player, you gotta ask yourself how did that shot feel and judge it based on that. Sometimes it's easy to look at stats and say, you didn't shoot it well, but sometimes there's a little bit more to the story or a different point where you gotta
improve at, and that's what I try to focus on. And at the end of the day, once the game starts, it's no overthinking anymore. You got to play and trust what you did in the summer.
Franz, since you got drafted in 2021, you've just been so busy with the World Cup, the NBA, the Olympics. So how do you find time to rest and recover your body?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think it's good to acknowledge that it's basketball, and I really enjoy playing. So I have no problem playing a lot of basketball, and like I said, I had a great time doing it these last 3 years. But yeah, it's obviously a huge part, like we just touched on, a huge part of the game, just mental, and finding ways to decompress too, and think about other stuff as well. It's important to me too. But I still had a bunch of weeks. I took like 2-3 weeks off of basketball. I could just be a normal person too, and that was enjoyable to do.
Franz, you had asked, or excuse me, you were on a podcast with George Neely this summer, and you had talked about how you felt as if you felt into the right situation here in Orlando. Where do you see that in terms of the coaching staff, the organization, the management, as to how they've been so successful with player development?
Yeah, I mean, obviously for me, it's obviously the development. I was able to enjoy these last 3 years. I'm well aware that I came into an organization that really cared about me and put a lot of time in my development. And, it's not just the work you put in yourself, it's appreciating the people that are with you on the court and rebounding for you, and giving you little pointers here and there. So I think you can feel it when you come in here. It's just a great vibe. Coaches care about the players, and the other way around too. And I think the front office has done a great job of surrounding us with, like I said, people that really care about us.
And real quick to pivot off that though, what kind of advice have you kind of given a guy like Tristan so far since he's came in?
I try to stay away a little bit. I'm sure there's a lot of new stuff coming at him, but I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to talk about stuff and for him to ask questions too. And, honestly, I haven't spent that much time with him. I never played against him back in Germany or with him, so yeah, this summer was really the first time I really got to know him. Yeah, I think I got stuff to prove to myself. Yeah. Yeah, super cool. Obviously, I'm super grateful for all the trust that they put into me, and for getting that opportunity. And well aware it comes with a lot of responsibility too, and I'm excited to step into that challenge. Thanks, Franz.
The sense that it's more serious, more easier, making more mature players, kind of used to some of those mistakes. Do you feel like this is an element trust?
I think so. I mean, it's one more year under everyone's belt, and like we touched on, a lot of the guys that we had are really mature and have the right mindset coming in, so I think that'll be very important for us.
Are there any milestones?
Sorry. No, after going through a 7-game playoff series last year, how important has getting home court become? You saw firsthand, and how the little things like training camp, games early in the season, how much they matter, come April, May.
Yeah, a lot. I think that's kind of the biggest takeaway from the playoffs, which I'm very grateful we went through because of that, because now you realize the game on a Tuesday night in January, in February matters a lot. And home court matters because, the second half, we were one half away, and if they go on a 9-point run and it's in Cleveland, that feels like it's 18 points. And if it's in Orlando, you have the crowd behind you, the momentum doesn't get killed as much. So it's just such a different swing of events. And I think we all felt that, and obviously gives us a bigger urgency early in the year.
Well, what lessons did your experience this summer?
It's still sore. It's still a sore topic, to be honest with you. I mean, that sports is brutal. I'll be honest with you. There's no way we're losing that game again, and somehow we did. kind of sucks and leaves a weird taste in your mouth after that experience, because actually the experience itself is pretty cool. Obviously being in Paris, being close to home, having your friends and family be able to come, and then representing Germany is such a privilege for us to do that, and we are so appreciative of that and cherish it so much that I would rather speak in a positive way, but it still hurts a little bit, I'll be honest with you. I will say that the FIBA game is a lot different in the sense of that the court is a lot smaller, so it's harder to score. Shooting becomes a lot more important. So in that sense, it does prepare you, especially for the playoffs, I would say, because all of a sudden the defense is allowed to do more things in the playoffs, and the court shrinks and the paint is packed. So you got to be able to knock down shots, execute, and in that sense, FIBA basketball is a perfect preparation, I think. Yeah.
Well, how excited are you to have a player like KCP on the team?
Yeah, I'm very excited for Kenny to come here. Played with him my rookie year. He's an awesome guy, fits in right away. Obviously, as a basketball player, it's the perfect fit with his defensive intensity. Him and Jalen are going to be a nightmare for the backcourt. So that's exciting to watch. And then offensively, he brings that consistent shooting, and then just knowing how to play, not doing too much. But he fits in right away, opening up these lanes for Franz and Paolo and Jalen and all these attacking guards that we have. So I'm very excited to have him on a personal level, but also as a player.
Just before you came up, Wendell had said that TDS is playing just like Franz Wagner, just like your younger brother. What have you seen from Tristan, and do you feel as if he's been reaching out to you guys so far just because of that German connection?
Yeah, I mean, we know Tristan a little bit. We're obviously very close with his brother. He is a little bit like Franz, that is right. It's very interesting. We've noticed that as well. He's an incredible shooter, good dude. I'm very excited for him to come in here too. It's a great organization. He's going to have some great opportunities. And yeah, he works hard as hell. Sorry for cursing. And I'm excited to have another fellow German here. I got to watch my mouth now around, because usually I can just talk smack with Franz, and now there's another German around, so I got to watch out a little bit.
Speaking of Franz, he blamed himself a lot after Game 7 last year. What did you say to him, and what do you think he wanted?
Well, you gotta ask him that. What did I say to him? After that game, I'm more like a switch to brother mode, you know? Season is over, not his teammate anymore. How do we, on a personal level, how do we digest a loss like that? I think it took us both a couple weeks. It's a team sport, it's nobody's fault. That's not how it works. I don't think he was happy with how he played, especially in that last game, but that's part of sports. That's just the job we chose. So I think he understands that he can get out of that emotion pretty quickly, and it gives him and everybody else, like I said, a bigger urgency and awareness of and clarity of what to work on and how to work on it in the summer. I think that's why the playoff experience like that is super valuable.
Well, how much of a sense in the locker room is there that you all won't be sneaking up on anybody this year?
Yeah, that's a big sense. I mean, we're not new to anyone now. We're not creeping up on anyone now. So people won't be surprised this year. That's a big challenge, but also is a great opportunity. Especially looking back at where we were 4 years ago, and looking at the fact that we have expectation now. That's an accomplishment, and I think we embrace that. And that's why this group is together and can win the season in training. We're aware of that too. So take the everyday serious, go day by day, go game by game, and we'll see what happens. But I think a general urgency is there for sure.
Now, what's it mean for the team to hang out together like you guys at the UCF game?
It was hot, man. No, obviously, I think this group in general gets along really well with each other. It's a great group. That side, that chemistry side of things is taken care of. I think that's a big advantage of this group. No worries on that end.
You mentioned how you guys have been together for 4 years, and it's been kind of a journey to get here. How much ownership do you guys take in advancing this thing further? How special is it to have
well, the continuity part is huge. I think it's very rare in this league to have the consistency of personnel and coaches and players, just because of the crazy turnover in the league in personnel. So I think we're all very aware of that, and I mean the business is winning, so we better go somewhere. Otherwise, somebody else will. You know, I think everybody is very aware of that as well. And the time is now, and people are ready for that. That's what I mean with urgency. But I think that's a good thing. You don't want to play your entire career with no pressure. That's kind of boring. So I think we're all very excited to be in this position and embrace that.
What did you work on this summer?
Honestly, for me, it's less on the court. Of course, I want to shoot, but I can always tell you I want to shoot higher percentages and be better defensively. But that's always a given, and I work on that, of course. But to me, it's more being more of a connector, being a little more mature as a leader. Coming off the bench, I take that very serious, and being able to understand the flow of the game better. And yeah, I don't want to play for numbers, you know. I want to play to win. I want to understand who my teammates has it going, who doesn't, what's happening in the game, and kind of be a voice or like kind of one of the smarter guys on the court, rather than just go.
Well, you've always seemed to have a good perspective, not getting too high, too low. How do you help keep that perspective amongst your teammates?
Well, partially it's everybody else owns responsibility. You know, it's make a lot of money. People figure it out better. That's kind of business. At the same time, though, I think this group is so connected and very smart as well that everybody listens, and there's a common trajectory, a common direction everybody's going along on, and I don't think there's a lot of confusion on what we're trying to accomplish here and what's needed to do so. So I'm not very concerned about that.
You got a new deal this offseason, and a lot of teammates as well, Goga, Gary. How does it feel? You've already had that belief from the front office, and now that you've got actions to back that up, how does that make you feel? How do you think that will feel for the team?
Yeah, continuity again is a huge advantage. Whatever, I mean, it's just so rare in this league, and I hold a lot of that. It holds a lot of values for me because I've been around, and so many teams. Yeah, they just change every year, and having a group that's kind of been consistent and having the same personnel every year, and also understanding where we were 4 years ago, that stuff matters. It gives one a lot of confidence to know that you were here when the team won 20 games, and now you've grown as a group. I think that gives everyone a great deal of confidence to continue to improve because something is happening.
Well, you've been playing in the United States since 2015, from Michigan to the NBA. So what do you miss the most about Germany when you're playing here?
I miss my family, honestly. That's my family and my best friends. Berlin is my home, and as the older I get, the more that's obvious that, I miss that city.
No, what was it like filming on set? Hustle?
Oh, that's a long time ago. That was fun, though. Yeah, that was cool. It was amazing. It was a great experience.
And what hobby or talent do you have that no one knows about?
Ask Franz that. I don't know if I have a hobby. Every once in a while I play the guitar, but other than that, not really skilled. Alright, guys. Huh? Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.